Hello and welcome to Ink Radio Podcast. This is going to be a special episode today. We're not focusing too much on Splatoon. We're going to have a little bit of it, but this is going to be focused mainly on all E3 and everything to do with E3. And because of that, we have a couple of people who are not part of the Splatoon community today. We still have me and Blake, but we're joined today by LoreBoys, or One-Armed Man, or Peter, as we like to call him. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin.
So I'm one of the three hosts on the LoreBoys podcast, which just went up on iTunes on Monday for the first time. We have some drinks, we hang out, we talk about video game lore one series at a time. So we recorded Dark Souls yesterday, which ran 3.5 hours, as you can imagine. And our first episode that came out, we actually did The Legend of Zelda, which is the only one currently on iTunes. So download that, give it a listen, and let me know what we did wrong.
Yeah, see?
I don't care what I did well.
Look, we have a Nintendo fan in the making. It's Zelda, so go check it out, guys. Also, I'm joined today by...
I'm not the one hosting.
We also have a good friend of mine today. His name is George, or Silvarant, as he likes to go by. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm George, Silvarant, whatever. It's my first time ever doing anything like this, like a live podcast thing. I don't really do much internet content. I don't use my Twitter or my Twitch, but I like to talk about games, so hoping this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
hell no.
Glad to have you on. It will not. Yeah, this is going to fail terribly. No, and we also have Blake back on the show, our usual host, you and me on most of the shows. So how's it going, Blake? How are you feeling today?
It's going pretty good. Some new and exciting things. It's got some sweet Ink TV shirts, so we can be nice and nerdy.
And Ink TV business cards. Convention. Oh, what? I see an Ink TV microphone I'm holding. Oh my God, this branding.
Why don't I have any video from you, Jamie?
Sorry?
Unified
Guys,
branding.
I don't have any video from you. The only video I have is Blake.
It's on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went all out. We decided to market ourselves to death. So we have Ink TV everything. So look forward to seeing our brand everywhere at E3. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, you got to get that branding. Got to get those branding dollars,
Those marketing. It's all about the marketing.
Oh, yeah, we also have the hoodies. There we go.
Man, you guys are stacked. Jeez.
Oh, it's a misprint, too. That's a rare one.
Yeah, those are the misprint ones. We're getting the fresh ones. Don't worry about it, guys. We got another order coming in there.
The misprints are more valuable.
Yeah, the misprints are like that double Samus, the amiibos that had the two arms for $4,000. We're selling them high stakes.
Worth a lot of money.
Does she have two hands or two cannons?
Check,
two cannons.
eBay later, after the podcast.
That shit on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't sell with the two hands on its own. I mean, come on, no one wants two hands. Two cannon Samus though, that's like hardcore.
Two hand Samus. She's like the monk. She got like the monk armor on.
You gotta wonder why she didn't do that herself. Like, 2 guns, better than 1. No brainer.
Well, if they make a platinum game about it, there's definitely going to be 2 guns on it. 4 guns, 2 on her legs, 2 on her arms. It actually becomes Bayonetta.
Yeah, she can slam them together to get one huge fucking gun.
All right, so let's start getting into it since we have a lot of companies, a lot of games, a lot of thoughts, a lot of predictions. Probably for me, since I'm probably the biggest nerd of all of you guys.
I've been unplugged from E3 for a little while now. Sadly, like my gaming has, you start a video game podcast and then you have no more fucking time to play video games. So I've probably played about 20 minutes of video games in the past 2.5 weeks. Not to mention weddings and like some other things that I had to do. I was an extra in a movie, guys.
Oh damn! Famous.
I got to sit in front of Ewan McGregor.
Oh, that's actually pretty attractive.
He is remarkably polite, actually. It seems really nice.
So, okay, so I guess before we get in, what has everyone been playing recently heading up into E3? Blake?
You mean aside from Splatoon?
Yes.
I
mean, you and me were going to say we've been playing Splatoon, but the other two have not. So, what have you been playing other than Splatoon?
I've actually been playing a lot of Disgaea 5 that got released on the Switch, and I've been loving and getting very invested in that franchise.
All right. Anything else? Any other games where you use a lot of legs or other body parts?
Yeah, I have also been playing a lot of ARMS. So I've been in most of the test fires at this point.
What's your opinion on it so far?
It's so much fun. The volleyball minigame was just awful. It did. I think it was like the last 2 hours of the last weekend's test punches was when I finally started getting a handle on it. I still hate it. All the new ones, the hoops and headlock, and what's the shooting one? Shootout. Those are fun. Those
Wait,
those were
explain those ones to me because they're out this week. I'll be playing them basically tomorrow. But can you explain those to me?
Yeah, Shootout was one that they had during the demo that they did a few weeks back, where it's just a bunch of little target signs that pop up in the middle, and they sometimes move a little bit. And just get as many of them as you can. But it's 1v1, so there's another guy on the other side who's also trying to hit the same amount of targets. But you can also hit him for points. So I was having a lot of fun of just masking myself behind a bunch of things, launching 2 punches, one to just get the targets, and another just high lob to smack into him when he's not expecting it. I racked up so many points. I didn't drop a single shootout the entire hour that I played tonight. I won every single one of them.
And how's the dunking game?
The dunking game is fun. It's not. It kind of leads you on to believe that you need to grab everyone to throw them in. You don't have to. I found that out after a little bit. The entire arena is surrounded by the little springboards. So if you punch someone enough, they'll eventually fall onto them, springboard off, and into the hoop they go. There's also you just can't, bell rings, grab someone and toss them in the hoop. I believe that there's a certain amount of damage you have to hit as a threshold before you can score points. And then much like basketball, you can get 2 points or 3 points based on where you throw them from. And it's, of course, wherever you're located. So if you're underneath the basket, you'll get 2 points. And if you're outside the 3-point line, you'll get 3 points.
Okay. And
so it's just basketball, but you have to grab and throw people?
Yeah, but that makes it amazing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes it a lot better.
You get to dunk humans.
Are the people in arms
You get to throw that shade of just grabbing someone, picking them up in the air, staring them deeply in the eyes and go, "Nah, it's done." And then dunk their ass right through the hoop.
You are the ball
now. They have to pick
now.
themselves back up and then shamelessly look back at you and try to fight back.
You guys have opposite ends of the court, or is it like shirts versus skins, where you have to like dunk in the same hoop?
Yeah, it's like a half court.
Oh, okay. That's it. Yeah, half court. That's what I was looking for. I'm very much into the sports. Scene. Yeah. I'm looking at this EA press conference and I'm just like, all of this is so relevant to things I like.
So last thing, and then we'll go into more ARMS a bit later when we actually get into Nintendo. But you played motion and with the Pro Controller, and what do you prefer?
I have mixed feelings about both. Punching feels a lot better on the Pro Controller, but the movement
if you're gonna say the movement feels better on motion, oh my god, it feels terrible.
Not like just wiggling around, but like the jumping and dashing is a lot more intuitive on the motion controls than it is on the Pro Controller.
I don't know about that. I feel a lot better with the Pro Controller on every aspect, and like we deal with motion, like we are the masters of motion controls.
It's not so much the motion itself. It's like in my opinion, I think that the bumpers should be remapped to the dash and jump just like they are on the motion controls, and Y and X should be remapped to the launching of your special and the guard as well, because right now guard is mapped to clicking down on the left joystick, which is awful.
It's bad.
Just awful.
That's why.
You
have to hold the left stick to block. So what everyone does is
can't move anyway.
You just play a faster character. You don't play a heavier character, and then you never actually have to block. You just dodge.
Oh no, I play a heavy character because they stomp on the light characters.
I don't know. Anyways, so George, what have you been playing?
Last week I picked up basically every Kingdom Hearts game ever made for the PS4.
Oh no!
We were going to get into Kingdom Hearts, so let's go into this a little bit.
I'm basically just going through all of them. I played 1 and Chain of Memories. I'm almost finishing 2. Well, I mean, I finished it, but I'm trying to go for the Platinums. And it's so good. I love those games.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's so frustrating.
No, I mean there are parts of it are frustrating. Like right now, I'm just grinding out synthesis materials, which always sucks. But like, it's still fun to play that game. It's still fun to run around and smash people with a giant key sword. It's great.
And just shit on Donald.
Once you platinum all those games and retire when you're 65, you can play Kingdom Hearts 3 when it's new.
Yeah.
Whenever it gets released, yeah.
I mean, like I'm almost I'm done. I platinum Chain of Memories, but I still do a couple more playthroughs of 1 and 2 before. But like whatever, I'll save those for another time. But they're great games. Still, Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's only better on PS4.
Yeah, but
not...
So, quick question. I heard that the story gets more convoluted the more you play it.
I mean, the story goes.
It certainly gets more complicated.
The first one,
people say that about Kingdom Hearts all the time. That it's a bonkers story, and it is. It's bonkers. It makes some sense, but only if you like read all of the wikis. Like if you play the games and you pay attention, you'll figure it out. Like it's not fucking quantum theory. You'll get it, but like it doesn't make it any less.
I don't know. I think quantum theory might be easier.
It's also very dependent.
Like I could sit here and spend the rest of this podcast explaining to you the entire history of the games and the lore and everything, but that'll literally be the entire cast. It'll be over after. Like
we'll take care of it. We'll do a LoreBoys episode. I don't think any of us have played it out of the three of us, so we're just gonna have like the outsiders view on.
Look, you have George now as a guest on your show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just be me just like saying, well, there are hearts and there's light and then there's some darkness, but then there's the keys and worlds and
This is
then
gonna be like
those 6 words over and over and over and over again.
The other two was just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
There's those who have lost their hearts, and then they also become nobodies.
Yeah. Heartless have lost their hearts, but they do have hearts. And
Oh my
nobodies
god.
have a body, but they're called nobodies.
Okay, we're done. We're done. We don't need this. So
Nobody needs it. Nobody needs
Whenever
it.
it comes to-
This is occupying brain space that I should be using for more important things. But
For quantum theory.
yeah, right? Anything, really.
all right.
Stocks?
So,
Who knows?
have you been playing anything else other than the Kingdom Hearts?
Before that, it was just Persona. A lot of Persona.
Persona 5?
Finished. Oh, yeah.
Oh, me too. Me too. Oh my god,
God,
it's awesome.
God, that game is so good.
Yeah.
It's so, it's just so good. Everything about that game is great. Like, I have no complaints about anything. It's
Yeah,
just great.
I loved it. Actually, I do have a complaint. I beat
How
the
dare-
entire game. The ending, not the story-wise, just the actual ending is such a grind. I feel like you get into a dungeon. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who wants to play the game because you should go play it. It's amazing. Definitely one of my game of the years.
Oh, yeah.
So I loved everything. Characters, the whole setting, and everything was perfect. The dungeons were amazing. And then they have the perfect blend of going to the dungeons and then going to meet the characters. Like it was enough time where it just got to the point where I was like, man, I really want to interact with characters. And then I got to interact with characters. And then when I got tired of that, it went right back to dungeon crawling. Like perfect timing. Except for the end. You get to a dungeon and it's like the longest dungeon in the game. And it's the most boring one. There's like no mechanic to it. And then all of a sudden it ends. And then you have another long ass dungeon that takes forever, and then the game ends, and you're just like, why?
The last month of the game is easily the low point of
the game. Like I actually took a break for 2 weeks from the game and just played. Well, I'll get into that after. But I played another game just to detox and came back to it after. And then I got back and I was like, okay, now I'm totally down for this. I'm down to beat the entire game, and I beat it and I finished it. I'm like, this was awesome. But I'm glad I took that break and didn't like train myself because I felt like I would have hated the game more if I continued forward with it.
The game definitely would have been better served with a few more in-game weeks between the last 2 dungeons. Because like it's just like, oh, we beat this thing. 2 days later, and it's like, oh, here's the thing. And it's, okay, well, all right, no, can't talk to anybody. Just more dungeon. Okay, well, all right.
But it's still awesome. Great story.
Oh, yeah, sure, great.
The whole micro stories are amazing. Oh, my God. Just everything about it.
The social links in this game are easily the best as a whole in any of the Persona games. Like, I like the ones in 4 less. Well, for ranking social links, it's like 5, 3, and 4 for me. But is like just all of the characters in this game are super likable, but like all have this like tragic parts of their past.
Actually, the one thing I will say, the only thing I'm going to say, and this is going to sound really weeby, but I found the romancing was terrible. Like,
That's super weeby.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well,
the romancing has always been weak,
no. If you go into the romance, like, to be fair, like, I don't care. Like, if we were just friends the whole way and all the game was just about making friends, happy super friendship, I don't mind. But they give you the option for romance, so it's like when you expect it to be a little bit mushy. It's just like completely like we're the best friends, and then like you get to the last part, it's like I'm in love with you, and it's like, don't bullshit me. We were just good buds 2 seconds ago. You can't just flip that switch.
They had a romance. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. The worst part about that is that, like, because the social links are so sectioned off from the main plot of the game, you can be like, I romanced one character like on early in the game. Like, I got her to max like in May, like really early. But like, so there are parts of that game where later on you have like not intimate, but like quiet, intimate moments with the teammates, and it would have been so nice to just have like something, but there's nothing in the game because it's not written for it. Like, you could romance a character, but the rest of the game doesn't know that you did that.
Yeah,
it doesn't take it into account.
Well,
like,
actually, okay, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but who is your ultimate waifu in this game?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, what I actually did 2 playthroughs of the game. I went
it's obvious.
once and then again. Like, first one I went on because she's great. I love her to death. But the second one I did Makoto.
Wait, first one you did who?
Her name is Anne, but I don't know why they keep calling her An.
Oh yeah, An. Really, you love An?
She's great.
Wow,
she's
shallow.
Whatever. The point
Your
is, she's
waifu
great.
is trash.
yeah, she is trash. Makoto's a good pick though. I liked her.
But no, I went with Makoto in my second playthrough, and honestly, I think I like her more. She's just a better character.
Oh yeah, no, she is. Anne's a pretty shallow character. I'm dead serious when I say that. Like, she's good, but she's pretty shallow.
She is, but she's not like, I don't know. I don't know what to compare her to, but she's not that. Like, she's shallow in comparison to everyone else who's a much deeper character.
Oh yeah, okay. So real character. Okay, let's be real here. The best character and the one that makes the most sense to romance, Futaba.
Oh my god, how did I know you were going to say that?
100%, dude.
Everyone who knows Spoon.
Yeah,
knows
I mean,
even
like,
before the game came out, you knew it was the right choice. Everyone go pick her.
I knew it was the right choice for you.
Trailer that just had a little like quarter slice image of her face, like, yeah, it's waifu.
Oh, yeah.
But she is canonically. Okay, let's be real here. Canonically, she is the romance character.
Probably not.
Whoa! Okay, we're not going to get into it, but yes.
Well, we're not getting into waifu wars right now.
We're going to argue about this later. So the other character, the other 2 characters that I liked the best were Takemi.
Yeah, she's great.
Takemi and Kawakami. I love that teacher.
I don't know. I was kind of mushy on her. I don't really like her or hate her either way.
Okay. Anyways, Persona, amazing game. Everyone should go buy it. Thank you. Have you been playing anything else?
For that, I guess I started playing a bit of Terraria, but then I put that aside. Breath of the Wild played when that came out. It was great. Loved it.
Everyone played Breath of the Wild. It was awesome.
I got to play it at the office with Jamie for 30 seconds. It was okay.
Bringing my Switch to work.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess I'll go into what I've been playing then. I've been playing quite a lot of stuff lately. So, like I said, Splatoon like usual. I've been playing the Test Punch like Blake as well. I've been playing some ARMS, and I actually like that game a lot more than I thought I would. Like, I know Blake was totally into it right away, but I started the game and I was just like, this is stupid. And then like an hour later, I'm like, this is great. So like, it's definitely one of those games.
Transition Spoon.
Yeah, always happens. So I don't know. It's one of those games where you look at it, and you go, this looks stupid, and then you play and you go, this is awesome. So I'm looking forward to it.
Once it clicks, it's like playing a Souls game basically. You just you're getting stomped, and then finally something clicks, and you're like, wait, no. I'm in love.
Yeah, well, I think once I switched to a pro controller, it like kind of clicked with me that the game is really good. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one just yet, but it's definitely something that I'm nearing more and more to do. I think I need more of a progression on the single player for me to like warrant me purchasing it, but definitely something I'm looking forward to. I've also
single player will be a lot more like traditional fighters, where it's just go through 10 battles.
Yeah,
and it's not anything particularly story driven. Like probably a light little sprinkling of story, but not really anything too important.
I think they need to have a lot of unlockables for me. They need to have like a bazillion arms I can unlock that just do crazy
did you
shit.
see the list?
They need more. They need like
arm
10,000 arms. They need like arms that do nothing, that are like stupid. Like they literally are useless. So you can like school people with stupid arms. I think that would make it more fun. But anyways, I'm interested. So that's cool. I played Persona 5. That sucked like 130 hours out of my life. And then I also, in between that break that we were talking about, I was playing Nier Automata, which
What is that game? I've been meaning to pick it up.
it's
fan service of the game.
no, it's
Good
not
job.
at all. It seems like it, but I will say I heard a lot of good things about it, but I didn't really believe it, right? And I just was slightly interested, and I was like, you know what? I'll pick it up. It was on sale for the Golden Week for PlayStation 4, and I was like, you know what? I'll pick it up. So I played it, and I was like kind of okay about it at the beginning, and then as I got into Yoko Taro's wild ride of games, it is amazing. To be honest, it's difficult because Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Nier Automata are like my top 3 right now, and like I can't choose which one I like better. But Nier is up there as like the highest contender, I think, right now.
Wow.
That's number 1 on my Steam sale list to pick up in a couple of weeks.
So it's not, how to explain, the combat is very basic, but it changes in so many different ways. Like it becomes a bullet hell game, and then it becomes an action game, but like the buttons and the way the game works doesn't change, but it can change the way the game plays. So it's really cool on like a gameplay perspective. Like I didn't think it was like the most fun action game, but then the story about it is so cool. Like it just makes you think about things all the time, like existentialism and like what's really human and what is life if they're not organic. And like it just asks a lot of questions that are really like scary for people. And just like things about emotions and like caring and compassion. And it's like, it gets really deep, but not in like a, how do I explain it? It's not in like
Ham-fisted?
Yeah, and it's not so much like, you know, oh, my life is terrible and this world sucks, and you know, it's very
Not melodramatic.
It's very nuanced. No, there's tons of melodrama. It's a Japanese game, like
It's nothing but
clearly,
melodrama.
but it's not done in a way that like puts it in your face and like just rubs it. Like it's just happening within the story, and then like you could tell it's soaked in it, but it's nuanced enough that it's like it feels very natural and it's cool, and like it makes you want to replay it. So yeah, I went through that entire game and I loved it all. I wanted to go back every single day to beat it. And then once I beat it, I felt like there was this void inside me. I was like, I should go play it again. I was like, no, there's too many games. So I beat Persona.
The game has like 14 endings, right?
It has 27
jokes, though.
endings, but
Yeah.
all of them are joke endings except for 5.
Okay. 5
are real endings. So yeah.
Do you have to like restart the whole game to get
No.
a different ending,
So
or how does
so
that
they,
work?
this is what people have to understand. They're not actual endings. Think of them more as like chapter ends, and then when you start the new game, it's not actually restarting the game. It's just starting a new chapter.
Okay.
That's a better way to think about it. But Yoko Taro calls them endings because he's a crazy person.
Yeah, I saw his face finally.
So yeah,
He took off the
definitely
spooky moon mask.
recommend it. So yeah, I guess that covers what we've been playing. We'll go right into E3 now. We're gonna start off with kind of the minor.
Did anybody play Gwent? It's okay.
No,
Is it different from the game in The Witcher? Because I loved it in Witcher.
It's a real game now, so yeah.
I know.
It
But
makes a lot more sense,
is it different or?
Yeah. Also, like, weather doesn't like automatically apply to both sides. You apply weather to like whatever row you want, and they have different buffs for different kinds of monsters now. And you can damage cards. So you know, like each card had like a power number or whatever.
Sure.
Some of them can deal direct damage and lower the power number, and if your power number falls to 0, you get it goes to the graveyard.
Wow,
It's free now. It's free now. It's pretty good. I don't know if they're still giving away free copies. I got a free copy of the first Witcher with it on GOG, which I had never actually finished, and it's janky as hell. And
Don't bother. It's trash. I mean, the game is. It was
super,
great 10 years ago, but it's like jank as balls.
It's really classic Euro trash, honestly. But But I love the series. That like comprised of the half hour of video games I played in the past 2 weeks. That, and I did play. I see it on the list. I played Titanfall 2, but not with the new Titan. So who fucking cares?
All right, so we'll go right into E3 now. Thank you for the update on Gwent. So we're gonna start with the smaller ones, and then we're gonna get into the big three near the end. So we're gonna start off with EA. I mean, what's to say about EA? Sports. Madden sports. FIFA sports. You like NBA? We got those.
Sims. You like The Sims? You know you like The Sims.
How about some Plants vs. Zombies?
Well, okay. So let's get into it. We all know that at the actual press conference itself, E3 is going to be the most boring.
Yeah.
It's not even like, okay, so I love, to clarify so everyone knows, I love watching E3 press conferences. Like, I live for that. I take days off of work to watch them because either I'm super excited about the games that are announced or I'm super excited about the cringe that's coming.
Oh, God,
I want to talk about like Ubisoft last year.
Okay, we'll get into that at Ubisoft because that's what
happened this year.
It's what you watch Ubisoft for. So E3 is that sorry, EA is that conference where you're like, this has like one good game, and then everything is boring. It's not cringy, like it's slightly cringy. It's just boring though. Like you just watch
Star
it.
Wars and then sports.
And the problem is
they'll have an athlete on to talk about something, and no one's gonna know who he is.
Yeah, Pele's gonna come back up again. His bones, he's gonna come back up with just bones. He's gonna be like, "Bye, FIFA," and he's gonna walk away.
What'd you say?
John Madden's gonna walk up this time.
Yeah.
John Madden. Oh, well, you see, you gotta buy Madden, and he's just gonna walk out.
It's still good. It's the 30th one.
So let's be real here. EA, they have some cringe, but it's not enough to be like laughable. It's not Ubisoft levels, so it's pretty boring. But the thing is,
and now we have a premium currency in FIFA that you can spend on premium players and premium jerseys, and we're all like, "Oh, thank you, Papa EA, for allowing us to spend more money."
And then on top
of it all, what I wanted. I wanted to buy a storefront on DVD and then put it in my console.
Well, don't forget that Minion app that they were talking about at E3 that everyone cared about.
That what?
They had a Minion app on the iPhone and Android.
I'm sorry. I'm cancer blind. I think that just fucking ricocheted off of my eyes.
So to be fair, EA, they always get you excited because there's always this really big game that they have that it makes you want to watch it, and you're like, I have hope for EA. And then you get into the conference, and it's always a disaster.
Yeah. Dash it all in front of your head.
But you always fall for it. Every year you fall for it. You're like, EA's got something, and then they don't. So I'm still going to fall for it this year, guys. I haven't learned my lesson. But let's get into it.
Unless they launch Dragon Age, let's talk about Dragon Age. There is literally nothing that EA could trot out this year that, maybe towards the end of the list, I guess, Unravel 2. Yeah, let's get into it. Sorry.
So let's get into things that are kind of announced that are going to be showing up there, and just tell me how you feel about them. And if we touch on anything anyone's excited about, we'll go through it. So Battlefront 2.
Space or no sale. I don't give a shit. Like that's the same for Battlefront 1 for me. Like if there's no space, I don't give a shit. Like why are you selling me this game that's not finished?
So I played the first one. And I thought it was okay, and then I didn't play it again. So
was everyone else who bought that game.
Yeah, I really loved the original Star Wars Battlefront, so it kind of was disappointing for me. So I'm keeping an open mind. I'm interested to see the Battle of Naboo that they're talking about, where they're having 60 players play on this thing, and I want to see it, but I'm very cautious. It's probably not something I'm going to buy, but I'm interested to see how it works out. So we see a bunch of sports games. We're going to skip that because let's be real, none of us are going to play these sports games.
Well, no, I mean, the sports games are for the sports fans who are going to buy them. Like, nobody starts with FIFA 18 like, yeah, this is the year. Like,
this is my year to get into FIFA.
The thing about Battlefront 2, which I think is kind of funny, I think that's going to be exactly like Titanfall 2. So you remember the first Titanfall when that came out, and it was basically a tech demo husk of a game that people played really quickly and then gave up. And then Titanfall 2 was like a full game with a campaign and multiplayer.
And the campaign was amazing.
Actual content, exactly. So the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign could really be good. I know you play as like some kind of like Death Trooper lady or something. Like it's probably going to be great, but I'm suspicious. It'll probably do better than Titanfall because it's like a way more established brand, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like probably the same story with slightly higher numbers of like we screwed you guys once, but you'll forgive us, right? And then we don't really forgive them.
But the difference with that is that Titanfall 1 was just kind of bare bones because the studio maybe didn't have what they needed to make it great. Battlefront 1 was bare bones because they rushed that game out to meet The Force Awakens. Like, they could have put in more stuff into that game. It's basically built on Battlefield's engine. They could have put space stuff and more heroes or whatever. Yeah. But instead, they just, shat it out for $60 in time for the movie to come out.
With the season pass.
Yeah, with the season
pass.
I think I remember seeing somewhere that
I can't hear
pass with all the season passes or whatever was something in the order of like $140.
Yeah, it was like Evolve, where it's like a $200 investment to get the full experience.
So let's get off of Battlefront. Anyone interested in Need for Speed Payback? They got cop cars again, boys.
Wait, they left?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a critical part of the Need for Speed
franchise?
But
like now they're advertising it really hot, like look, the cops, like be your own whatever, criminals.
Look at us doing what the game was supposed to do all along.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we know. You know what you're expecting with Need for Speed. You know what I mean? It's the same people who've been doing the other Need for Speeds.
I had an expectation, and then I found out apparently the last ones didn't have cops.
The last Need for Speed game I played was like Underground 2. I don't even know.
Yeah, they need just to go back to Need for Speed Underground, like legitimately, not like this FMV stuff. I'll be interested. I'm interested.
I mean, that game had FMV.
I'm always interested in games that are trying to be Fast and the Furious because I love Fast and the Furious. So anything you can get close to it, I'm down.
What's it called? Wild Speed in Japan.
Wild Speed?
Yeah, this Wild Speed is Fast and the Furious title in Japan.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so much better.
I know.
No, I like Fast and the Furious because you get all those cool puns. Fate of the Furious, So
sure, cool puns. They're definitely cool puns.
All right, so next one we have. Let's see here. Are you interested, Blake, in potentially playing FIFA on the Nintendo Switch?
I mean, it'll be my life's goal.
That's a good soccer
goal
to play EA Sports FIFA 32 on the Nintendo Switch.
You can finally be that person, though, to be at a park playing fake sports on a bench, though.
God,
while other people are playing soccer.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so the dystopian future. I love it.
It's like the virtual gardening from The Simpsons where they had like the gloves.
Oh, God.
Virtual chores.
So I guess that's really it. Is there anything that you guys hope actually gets announced at EA?
I mean, I hope that they announce like a good Star Wars game, like a real, like something that comes out of the ashes of
like a single player type thing, right? Like
like
KOTOR?
KOTOR 3 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, BioWare can still do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Can they?
BioWare's still working on a new IP.
BioWare's
working on a new IP. It either means it's like a new Dragon Age. They said that they're going to bench Mass Effect for a while, so it could be.
I'd really like more Dragon Age information because I think Inquisition, like I'm a big fan of the series. Inquisition was a really good story in a really bad game, and I feel like they may have learned their lesson with Inquisition and Andromeda having a lot of stuff in common, and Andromeda just bombing like a son of a bitch, and then getting memed into the stratosphere with those like faces that people made. So I'd like some Dragon Age info personally. Not that I trust them to make a good game out of it, but like I'd like to be set up for disappointment. Is basically.
I like to have all my hopes dashed. Can't you give me that?
I just need something to look forward to.
Dashed before they're built.
Yeah,
that's really what it needs to be.
I see new content for Titanfall 2 on the list here. I really like to know what they're doing with that because I really do like the game despite the fact that I had quit for a bit just because the population's a bit low. I would love ranked matchmaking to be included in something so I can not sweep or be swept in either direction like every time you play the game. And maybe I don't know, like maybe the game should go free to play. I don't really know what they want to do. But I just like what people talk about. Yeah, I just like what people talk about.
Not enough giant robots. Not enough giant robots.
I mean,
you're a kid,
we don't know that for certain yet.
And then a robot.
That's the dream.
So actually, I'm pretty interested in all the indie titles because EA had some pretty good indie stuff. Well, indies, you know what I mean? Like their lower scale games. Like Unravel was pretty cool.
I loved Unravel.
Exactly, it was really good.
Yeah.
Unravel 2
I didn't
seems
even
to
know that
be
game came
might
out.
be showing up. Brothers, Brothers, the two things with the dual joystick was really cool. I really enjoyed that game.
I like that a lot.
And they haven't had a game for a while, and it looks like they have a chance to potentially be rumored to be at the E3 conference. So it'd be cool to see what they're coming up with. Cool storytelling. So yeah, I think that's about it for E3. I mean, it's going to be typical run of the mill. You're going to see some really boring stuff. You're going to see them try to put like famous people on that no one gives a shit about. And then we're all going to be bored, and then we're like, thank God there's something else coming up, which is
we're gonna have a celebrity who's never even seen a video game come out and talk about how immersive something is, and then we're just gonna be like, yeah, okay, thanks a lot.
I am definitely a gamer. I love games. The games and me, just like twins. I love games.
Holding the controller like this instead of properly. They're just, it's so immersive when you tilt it, and it works better.
All right, so we'll get into Bethesda, and I'm going to preface this by saying Bethesda last year made a bunch of announcements for games, and every single one of them came out that year.
Yeah.
So this year, going into E3, they have nothing that they've shown that can be announced. There's nothing guaranteed to be at their conference. So as of right now, all we can assume is they have nothing. So all we can do is speculate about what could potentially be there. So
generally, though,
or they show up on stage and go, "We got nothing."
Just Pete Hines comes out.
2 hours to say we have nothing. Good night.
So
and then it's just Elder Scrolls music playing in the background for 2 hours.
I mean, that wouldn't be so bad. It'd be better since they started having their own press conferences. Honestly, they haven't been that good. Like their first one.
I thought Bethesda was really good actually. Lately,
last year they showed Dishonored and then trailers for a bunch of like Fallout DLC.
And Quake.
Well, that was the year before they announced Fallout 4.
Yeah, but I felt like they should.
Doom.
I think Bethesda's like one of those middle, like, because they show a lot of footage of their new games, and then when they do show the footage, they come out fairly recently after E3, so it's enough to build that momentum for them. So that's why I like Bethesda's conferences, because everything you see is typically like
cat out.
No problem. Everything you see is typically like going to be showing up soon. So that's what I like about them. And then when they do show like the big game, they really show it off. They don't just like put a trailer out and be like, here. They're like, here's the game. Here's 20 minutes of footage of us playing the game. Like when they show Doom, they're just like, we're just going to show you Doom. And they just start ripping people's heads off for like 20 minutes. And you're like, this was awesome. You know, like
I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube channel Crow B Cat.
No. I've seen him every once in a while.
He's the one who did like the history of Ubisoft downgrades, and he did like he does montages basically. They're generally quite pessimistic, but they're funny in a way. Doom post E3 got a massive visual upgrade, so that's one thing that Bethesda does well is their games either come out looking the same or looking better.
Yeah,
which is it's always that they're not lying to our faces.
So that's why I like Bethesda, because you see what you get, and they show off gameplay, and they show what you want to see. And like they don't show a ton of games, but the games that they show for long enough where it piques your interest, you know?
Yeah.
So with that saying, they have nothing going into this theoretically, but there's tons of speculation.
I mean, Dishonored DLC maybe.
Do we really think that there could definitely be no chance that they show another Elder Scrolls game? Like they keep saying that they're only working on it, but like pie in the sky, is there really a zero chance? Because
I would say no, but yes. Like there is a chance. There is a chance that they announce it and they show it, but I highly doubt it's going to be anything where it's like, here this year, Elder Scrolls.
No, there's no way ESO 5 or 6 or whatever.
You're going to hear about Elder Scrolls on Switch though.
Great.
I don't know.
They
have the Skyrim that they announced for Switch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to show that off.
Yeah, but I think that's what I mean though is. I think that is telling that there won't be another single-player Elder Scrolls, because they're still milking Skyrim.
Which is crazy.
Skyrim forever.
It's crazy. It's been like 7 years.
Forever.
And people still, when the port comes out, everyone's like, oh my god, Skyrim on another console. And I'm like, dude, I've played this 8 years ago. Like,
more people play it.
But to be fair,
anything else
motion
they've
control
recently
with
made.
the axes, I'm going to lose my shit and I'd probably buy it. Just that way, just take in my two Joy-Cons
actually do
and
some
just
work
start ripping into shit.
And Bethesda
They're
wins
actually gonna
again.
make some work to make it work right, but they're not. They're just going to port it lazily, and that'll be it. Like
They're going to port the unpatched version that they launched in 2011 and then release a patch later, which is what they did with the special edition or whatever with the new textures. They released an unpatched version and then had to repatch it.
whatever. Like,
All right, so let me go through a couple of games that are like kind of rumored to be around. The first big one that I think is really going to be the one that they're probably going to show the most, or I think it's all speculation, but Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, the sequel to Wolfenstein. Yeah,
I would kill for that.
Because if you noticed on the last trailer of last E3, they had like someone writing code, and they're like future game, like the next Colossus Wolfenstein on a computer. And then, like, it's, like, coming soon or whatever, and then they just left that, and everyone's like, whoa, what is this? So
so the new Colossus is, like, written on the inside of the Statue of Liberty, and BJ at the end of the New Order is, like, reciting it.
Yeah.
So I think the new Colossus, if the next Wolfenstein is getting announced, it's probably going to take place in, like, the war-torn United States, because I know they got nuked or something between World War II and the 60s, which is when the New Order is.
Yeah. So it'll be
post-apocalyptic cool. Nazi robots, guys.
Robot Hitler?
Happen.
Robot Hitler's going to happen, man.
Robot Hitler in New York.
I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about it. Wolfenstein was pretty good. Like, the first one was pretty good. It had a feel like Doom, but a little bit different. It was kind of so out there ridiculous. I thought it was really cool. So I'm excited to see the new Colossus. It'll probably be interesting. The next big game that everyone's talking about, because there's been rumors that you've seen job openings for it for the Japanese Psycho Break, which is Evil Within 2. Evil Within 1, everyone thought it was okay. I never played the first one, but everyone thought it was cool. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. So second one coming out. Anyone have any thoughts on this horror game by Shinji Mikami, guy who made Dino Crisis?
Well, it's worse than Dino Crisis because Evil Within 2 I didn't find very good. It was odd. Maybe it was just too Japanese for someone like me because it's fucking weird, but it's also just not fun. You got horror levels of ammo, but not horror levels of spook. So there's no point. You just don't have enough stuff to take down the dozens of zombies that are jogging at you. And then the story, of course, makes no sense. Because you're inside a crazy guy's head, so you can't tell how you're progressing at all. Because it's just like you go from a hospital to a spooky mansion to like a canyon full of monsters to a ruined city to maybe the real world. So I don't know, man. I like the fact that Bethesda lets people make what they want, but sometimes people just are unskilled. And that's kind of the feel I'm getting from Mr. Mikami.
I remember watching a stream when that game came out where like someone was playing at the end, like at the last boss, and the game like glitched out and they were like, I think they weren't doing any damage to the boss. So they just like used the console commands to glitch the thing out and just finish the game that way. That's the only thing I remember about that game.
So yeah,
it's got some neat ideas. Maybe the sequel will be better. I don't know.
So anyone interested in the Elder Scrolls card game? You know,
it's available now. I saw a Steam announcement, but no, not personally.
All right, so
more card games, that's what we need.
So I guess any hopes and dreams for Bethesda? Anything you guys wish would come out? Any predictions you have, like kind of out there in left field? Because that's really all I can think of. Like I don't really think Bethesda has much else coming.
Like I was saying, maybe Dishonored 2 DLC because there's no season pass and nothing's been rumored or announced. So I don't even know if they're planning DLC for that because I know it sold like shit and it functions like shit, so that was well deserved. So I don't really think they're gonna carry on with that. Like they had a really, really bad launch, and it hurt their sales really hard. So maybe some DLC for that, but I don't.
Maybe Prey DLC.
Maybe again, no season pass for that game, which I think is interesting. That game so far has been received really, really well, and I'm definitely gonna grab that this summer. People have been describing it as really close to System Shock 2, which I love, and obviously I'm like a huge fan of BioShock. So BioShock in space is. Like, I don't know. I don't have an expression. I lost my train of thought. But it's so good that people like.
So, Blake, anything you potentially interested with Bethesda?
I mean, I said earlier that I don't think it's likely that there will be a single player, either a new Fallout or a new Elder Scrolls.
Well, they're working on Fallout VR, by the way. Just so I let you know.
Yeah. But I really want one. I want it to be a good one. Like at least Skyrim was enjoyable. There's lots of neat things. I think on a technical basis, as far as how a lot of the skills worked, I really enjoyed. But the story has fallen the wayside of many single-player RPGs of late, of just being very bland and on the rails. And I would like it to go back more the other direction and get closer to Oblivion or even Morrowind. But
Morrowind's my personal favorite.
Yeah, that's probably
never go back
asking
to
too
that.
much.
Yeah, no.
Like at least a bit more Oblivion. Like keep the neat stuff that Skyrim had, but make it a bit harder and a bit more story driven.
Yeah.
All right.
Than either Fallout or.
Fallout seems really unlikely since we just got one. They tend to.
Yeah.
They tend to flip now. I would kill. This is never going to happen. I'd kill if they announced that Doom was being split into 2 separate launchers, one for single player, one for multiplayer. Because after all their multiplayer expansions, that thing is 85 gigs now, and
Jeez.
nobody plays the multiplayer. They gave us a bunch of free shit nobody asked for. I just want to play the game again, but I don't want to wait, 6 years for it to download on my garbage internet.
I wonder how that would be received if they tried to sell a game under the same title, but it's literally the single player and the multiplayer.
No, I mean, like, if I got
If it was cheaper, I bet it would sell like gangbusters.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw out wild speculation here.
Okay.
This is gonna be my dream. Doom on the Switch.
Yeah, right.
Portable Doom.
It'd be fun,
It'd be awesome.
especially if it had the motion controls as well. And you just
It's
looking for viewfinder. Just
Yo, dude, you move your hand to fucking rip someone's head out? I'm down.
That'd be great.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm down for Doom on the Switch. That would be my
You
thing.
can't fit 85 gigs on one of those cartridges, dummy.
That's
What
why
are
you buy an
talking
SD
about?
card of 128 gigs and fill it up to its
Oh my
entirety.
God.
Clearly.
Oh,
it'll look like those old Sega Genesis cartridges. Like it's like the bit that goes in, fits
Yeah.
in. You actually
Card in a
can't close it. It has a much bigger monstrosity on top of it.
Okay.
Exception is carts and carts and carts.
Yeah, it's like with the genie and some other thing, just like this Frankenstein's monster of.
Yep.
All right. So let's move on to Ubisoft, everyone's favorite cringiest conference. It still can't top Konami's conference of 2010, the cringiest conference of all time. But definitely.
That's the Ridge Racer one?
Right?
No, Ridge Racer Sony. Konami is like the guy who's staring at someone from behind like he wants to murder him. And then the dance moves, that's like, they're like dancing with like not even the game being played. It's just like a pre-recorded video of the game and they're dancing to it. And then like wrestlers come on and slap each other and then they take a thing away from the commentator. It's just really bad. Everyone should go watch it, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Just go watch it. It's terrible. But Ubisoft gets really close to it every year.
I don't know. For me, they win, man. For me, they win Cringe Fest E3 every year.
Every year they do, but you can't beat Konami from 2010.
I watch that conference like half of the time. It's completely muted. I just can't. It's too much.
Yeah, it's bad. Every year is bad. They have Just Dance that comes on at the beginning and people dress up in costumes. And then they talk about how they're sorry for all the shooting victims in the United States wearing these funky costumes. And I'm sure that sounds really endearing to them. So yeah, that's Ubisoft.
Which one was the one where they
nutshell.
dropped a car on the conference?
I don't know. They do crazy stuff, and they're like,
that?
"Oh,
I
I'm
can't
swearing! Ha, 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 look at me!" It's just bad. So, anyways, but they do have some pretty decent games that come out, and this year they have a pretty decent lineup of games coming out. So,
Sorry.
we'll start off with officially announced games that are announced by Ubisoft themselves, and they're going to show them off for sure. Assassin's Creed Origins. Is anyone interested in Assassin's Creed?
Not
Did they
yet.
already make a game
used
called
to be.
Assassin's Creed Origins? I swear they already made one with that title.
No, they have Syndicate, Unity. Like, they're just naming all those adjectives that have, like, that edgy feel to it. So,
What were the little ones?
Unity.
Rogue,
No. Well, Rogue is
Liberation,
No, I mean like
Revelations.
Revelations.
the Chinese one, the Russian one, and the Indian one. What were those called?
What?
The
Prince
side
of
scrolls.
Persia?
Yes, Prince of it was Prince of Persia, Beyond Good and Evil.
Not Assassin's Creed.
Those
is
are not
what that is.
Assassin's Creed.
No, I'm kidding. Hang on. It's like Assassin's Creed China. I'm not crazy, guys.
Assassin's
I know there
Creed
was one that
Beyond
came
Good
out
and
on-
Evil 2. Clearly,
There was a
that's
Chinese one. It came out on the Vita, but I don't remember.
Chronicles.
Oh,
Sorry.
Chronicles.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
Chronicles.
Assassin's Creed Chronicles, Assassin's Creed Liberation, all these edgy names.
Yeah.
I
So,
gave up on that series after
anyone
Black
interested? Anyone ever going to plan to pick this up, or do we just skip across it?
It would have to absolutely be the most incredible thing that is accidentally branded Assassin's Creed that has ever existed.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not
Accidentally made a
interested
great
at
game
all.
and put it in the Assassin's Creed category. It was by accident, but here you go.
All
Yeah,
right.
it was like Assassin's Creed 4 that just like accidentally made a sweet
We
game.
accidentally used the Assassin's Creed models for our great game.
So,
Like 8 months before we realized, but all right.
yeah, I guess that's it. Assassin's Creed's coming out. Good job, Ubisoft. Do it every year or
Yay.
2 years, whatever. Okay, next game. Actually, I'm quite intrigued by this, okay? Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Yep, same.
For
I've never
one
actually played a
reason.
Far Cry, but seeing some of those teasers,
It's pretty
I'm
interesting.
intrigued.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Really good concept. I
So
liked 2. I liked Blood Dragon. I liked 3 a lot. I haven't played 4.
I
but
played
the,
4. I really
the
liked
Doomsday
4.
Cult
I
thing's
really liked
awesome.
3. So I like Far Cry, to be completely honest. I think they're really cool. They keep getting better. And this one, I'm almost sold on because I'm really fascinated by the Montana setting. So for those of you who don't know, Far Cry 5 set in a Montana setting, and you're fighting cultist religious people in desolate Montana that no one knows what's going on because it's so far out in the boonies, and it's in modern day times.
Yeah, I
It
think
sounds
it's
so
fucking
crazy
great.
that it sounds
when I first
awesome.
heard about it, it's just like, oh, okay, another Far Cry, but it's like it's about Christian doomsday cults, guys, and you're like, hang on a second.
Sign me up.
suddenly I'm throwing my wallet at the monitor.
We're gonna have to climb up so many scarecrows to get all the map markers and shit.
Oh man, that's what's really like making me not want to give a shit about Far Cry because I am so tired of the Ubisoft climb the tower game. It's so boring to me at this
But
point.
the setting's
Yeah.
so cool this time.
I mean, like the
And
settings
how
are usually
tall is something
cool.
going to be?
I mean,
in
even that
desolate
car game,
Montana?
even that car game had towers that you kind of climb.
Oh yeah,
It was
the
just, like,
crew, yeah.
you got like Jesus. I mean, I get it. It's an easy way to do open world games. Just exploring the map and doing all these towers. I get it. But
Yeah,
goddamn,
but I
it's
think
boring.
Zelda's gonna teach people a little bit how to change that up because Zelda did it right.
I mean, not for Far Cry.
Yeah.
Like, those games are probably
Zelda
developed
also
almost at the
had
same
to
time.
Find the tower and climb up.
That's true, but it was a bit different. It was done differently. It's not the same.
I mean, if we're being honest, not
I mean, you
really.
literally
The-
climb it
it's
and you
the same.
get information, but it's
not,
but
like,
but
really.
it doesn't like give you information. It's like pinpoint right here and then follow this line to get to where you're going. It was like you actually went up to look at things. You know what I mean? Like you used it to look at the
You
game.
look at it for a save point.
It's like The Witcher or like Skyrim for that matter are like pretty good open world games where they don't they're not you're not overburdened with icons until you've actually explored everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So that's cool. Really excited for Far Cry 5.
I'm excited to find out more.
Yeah, I definitely want them to they need to have gameplay. They need to show kind of a little bit of like a scenario that's going on, and then if it's really good, I'll probably be interested.
Yeah.
There's the
You can create a character apparently, from what I read on PC Gamer, that you can at least choose your gender. So they might have 2 like preset voiced characters instead of just one voiced character, which
pretty
that
cool,
could be cool.
actually. Yeah.
You play a deputy sheriff or something, which is really neat. You kind of get wrapped up in this whole thing. It's very
No Country for Old Men.
Kind of, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So the Crew 2, it's a racing game.
Who cares? Moving on.
Next one. South Park: The Fractured But Whole finally coming out. They actually have a release date. Yeah, so they say. I actually don't think you're going to see a lot of this game. I think if they try to promote it more, it might hurt them because they promoted it so heavily every other year and then it still hasn't come out. It keeps getting delayed. So what they kind of need to do is just like have a quick teaser and be like, it's actually coming out. We're not kidding. And South Park can get away with making light of themselves. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but they've announced it. So if they come out with a trailer and just like make light of themselves, like, yeah, we know we suck, here's the release date, bitches. Like
October 17th.
that'll work. Because everyone knows what it is. Everyone who played the first one knows what the second one is. You know what I mean? New features. Has anyone played South Park, the first one?
Very, very little.
No, I kept meaning to, but it kept falling off my radar for some reason.
Yeah, me too. Everyone says it's
Same.
really, really good, though. I'm not a big South Park person, but I appreciate what those games do. Apparently, they're really funny. So, yeah.
I mean, it's South Park.
Yeah, more the merrier. Good games, so happy to see more, even though I don't play them. I'm not going to get into the next one, which is a rumored game, because I'm going to save that for Nintendo, but everyone knows what we're talking about with those stupid rabbids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what it is,
Wow.
but it's fucking rabbits.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So let's go. Let's see. Is there anything else here that's pretty interesting? I mean, they're going to have a lot of like extra content for like games for sure. They're going to keep making out their plan of like, here's more content for the Division and here's more content for Rainbow Six, because they're pretty popular games. So that's cool.
I still play the Division I basically play the Division like 2-3 hours a month with some of my friends in Toronto if we can like line up our times. Like, it's not bad. I don't really know what I'd want them to add to it.
Yeah. So
Cool.
actually, one big thing for anyone who watches the conferences every year, Aisha Tyler is not hosting it this year.
How come?
Apparently, they said they want to have favor of developers hosting the conference instead of Aisha Tyler. Now,
Well,
I'm not a big fan of Aisha Tyler.
Now we're not going to get our annual cringe, though.
But people really liked Aisha Tyler. Oh, no. I disagree. I
I'm
think you're
not
going to
gonna
get more cringe, because the cringe came from the
these are
developers.
Yeah,
Every
I
year
don't-
they
I
came
like
from
her
the
a lot.
developers.
I
I
think
was
it's kinda
in charge of a lot of that shit. Like I love that woman, but I'm not going to be sad to see her go. Like,
Oh,
it's,
no. I disagree. I thought I was in the minority. I wasn't a big fan of her, but I'm surprised
Oh,
that they
no.
let her go, because everyone seemed to really like her. So,
I did. Perfect.
yeah. So, yeah, that's just a big thing. So, those are like
Which
actual
which
games.
tragedy are they going to inappropriately say that their hearts go out to in their conference, just like last year?
well, I don't
Menopause
know.
victims.
A lot of stuff has happened in the last
Menopause
couple of weeks.
victims?
Do you remember last year though, after the
Yeah.
shooting in Orlando, where she was like, "Our hearts go out to everybody."
It's
but
all
there
the
was a
Just
guy in
Dance
a giraffe
characters,
costume
yeah.
behind her.
I think that because that happened like a few days before.
It did
I don't
happen
think
a few
there's
days
anything-
before.
Yeah, and everyone was
There's nothing
announcing
so
it.
close to E3 this year that I think would.
No,
You know,
there's nothing.
We got
Maybe
20
that-
days or something.
So I guess let's go into some more rumors, some big rumors. Beyond Good and Evil 2 said not to be shown at E3, but still in production. Anyone have thoughts on Beyond Good and Evil 2 that is said
That game
it's
is
going to be
never
announced
coming
forever?
out. It's never.
It's the
coming out.
Half-Life 3 of
It's not gonna come
Ubisoft.
out. No,
Yeah,
it's
The
It's not
difference is,
coming
though,
out.
is that Ubisoft keeps saying it is in production. It's probably like 1% in production. Like someone thought of an idea and wrote it on a piece of loose leaf paper, and they're like, "Look, we're still working on it, guys."
Back of the envelope.
Yep.
I've never played the first one, so I don't know why people love that game so much. But it's never coming out.
What do
It's
you
just
guys
not
think
gonna
about the
happen.
rumor that apparently it's a Switch exclusive, timed exclusive?
that
Do you
could
think
be
that holds
cool.
any merit?
Why would they do that?
The game doesn't exist, so no, that rumor doesn't.
Yeah.
Any fucking
I mean,
matter.
it's a moot point. The game's
Why
not
would it
coming
come
out.
on a brand new console.
All right. So,
A
next
what? A
thing,
10-year-old IP that's coming out on a brand new console. Yeah, let's do that. That's just why.
It's equal to a PS2 game.
All right,
I mean,
next
I've played a
thing-
very little amount of the first one because they were giving it away for free during their Ubisoft 20th anniversary, and the game's fine. But it's a really PS2 game. Like the
It'll be
camera's very
15 years
PS2.
old in November.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super interested. I like the idea of the hype behind it because everyone's behind it, and that like makes me interested. But I don't
It's gonna
actually
be
care
another
about the
Duke
game.
Nukem. It's never gonna live up to it.
Yeah. Also, okay. So next thing that is apparently being announced, or is kind of like speculated, is a new Splinter Cell. It hasn't been announced for a while. They have kind of put it on the back burner, bringing it out in a new generation for PS4. Seems pretty interesting. A very stealth-focused game. How does everyone feel?
If they go back to stealth. Well, because I played the first one, which is like a hardcore stealth game, very much in line with like kind of the older Thief games, or maybe the first Dishonored to some extent, which I like a lot, or even like Deus Ex and the newer Deus Exes, like very lethal combat. The newest one was an action game with night vision goggles. So if they kind of go back to their roots, I think it could be good. But
All right.
it's Ubisoft, man. I don't
Yeah,
know. Like,
so-
it's really hard to get excited for anything they do.
Okay, anything that anyone is interested in, any wild things that you think will happen at E3 for anyone here?
For Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Ubisoft?
Oof, I don't know, man. Like they're. I can't think of an IP that they might throw out like as a surprise. Like what do they got in the tank that they might shoot out?
That they bring back out of nowhere?
Yeah, like just like out of nowhere game. Like this is our old like something you love about Ubisoft. Here it is.
Another
Big
Assassin's
surprise.
Creed movie.
They just as part of their conference they just show the movie. Like just
And then they can claim thousands of people saw it.
yeah.
I don't know. I'd be interested. I like Ubisoft's. Again, I like their indie studio stuff. Like Grow Home was pretty cool.
I liked Child of Light a lot.
Yeah. So
Who owns Dead Space? Is that Ubisoft?
Dead
or is that
Space
EA?
is EA. Yeah. Dead
Yeah.
Space.
It's
Dead
also
Space
dead,
could
though.
make a comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's been dead for a while, and they kind of killed that franchise to the ground. So
Yeah, Dead Space 3
I don't
was
know.
dog shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see Ubisoft has very creative IPs a lot of the time for a big studio. Other than
well,
like when they don't do
For
open
Honor,
world all the
like
time.
what's this year's For Honor basically is what you're thinking of. Is like
Yeah.
what's the weird experiment that
I
they
feel
let
like
some
they
crazy
have
man
something
make?
that's coming out that's like totally out there, other than the Mario Rabbids game, which we'll get into on the Nintendo side. That's coming out.
That we
that's
haven't
like
mentioned yet.
yeah, that we haven't mentioned yet. We haven't
Yep,
mentioned if we like it or
definitely.
not.
Definitely saving that one. Yep.
But yeah, it's just I just don't know. They're kind of unpredictable. Like they have their usual franchises that they love and they milk, but then the stuff that you don't know about, like that's so left wing whenever they do it. So
Left field.
yeah, left wing.
So left
field.
wing.
It's so left wing. So democratic.
Vote for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested
What
in
about a Watch Dogs
Ubisoft.
thing? Like something about Watch Dogs?
I mean, maybe like DLC. I think it's too
Watch
early
Dogs
to have
2
like
just came out
Watch
as well,
Dogs
so why would
3.
they announce a third one? I don't know.
That game apparently did really well, actually. It was on the top
Really?
of the charts
Nobody
for a
ever-
long time.
Nobody ever talked about it, or
Yeah, but
it didn't. It
it's
didn't
the
have
same-
much of a presence.
So to give an example, Ghost Recon's Wildlands, no one
I
talked
was
about
gonna
it.
say, yeah.
It
No one
was
talked
like
about
the
that game.
most
Apparently
selling
it's still
game for like
gangbusters.
2 months. It beat out every big PS4 release and every other release that came out for like the past 3 months. It sold like crazy, but no one's talking about it. So there you go.
I don't know
Ubisoft
anybody
makes
who's
money.
played it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All right, so let's see. Do we have any more of these smaller conferences? No, we covered like the smaller like developer ones. Now we're gonna get into the big three. We'll start with the least interesting one. I think all of us are least interested in this one is Microsoft.
Oh boy.
Yep.
So just to give a brief rundown before we start going into it and start shooting the shit on it, because I feel like everyone has an opinion on this because Microsoft. Just to give some quick things. Scalebound, one of their biggest IPs that they announced for last year's E3, has been canceled. All the other
Yep.
games that they had in production are not really working out. They had a Phantom Dust thing that didn't work out, and then they made an HD remake, and then it got put out for free, and it wasn't that good. And then they have the whole we can play on your PC and you can play on your Xbox, but we're going to come out with a brand new powerful console called Scorpio, and we're going to revolve our whole conference around it, but then you can just get a good PC and that doesn't matter anymore. And then
Yeah, of all the big three, I think Microsoft, like, I can't see a reason why you would want, like, I mean, besides Halo, I can't see a reason why you would want
so
an Xbox.
here's
Like,
the thing
It's
too,
the
is that
only game that they have that is not Windows 10
Well, no-
and Xbox. The only thing that's not on PC is
yeah,
their FPS.
and there's a reason for that. If they did that,
To
no
be
one
fair,
would buy an
too,
Xbox.
there is
No.
no Halo coming out this year. They've gone on record saying that Halo will exist in the conference somehow, but it will not be a game.
Probably
So
smart.
Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me. There's generally like 3-ish years between Halo games. That they've always been really consistent. Like on the third year is their Halo,
Yeah.
and Halo 5 came out to. I think they've got a lot of work to do because Halo 5 came out and people were generally kind of tepid to displeased with that game.
yeah,
I think that was mostly because there was no split screen multiplayer, which is a big thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and
the
they
only way
introduced
I've ever
7
played a Halo
characters
game.
out of nowhere,
Well,
too.
besides Halo.
I mean, our LANs for Halo were amazing. That was some of the
Yeah,
best
when
times
those
we
games
had.
came out. Yeah, the whole day of just 4 of us playing.
Just
those
playing the
tiny little
whole
CRTVs.
single player, or like all 8 of us in a LAN cramped up together playing like Halo multiplayer. It was awesome.
Oh, dude, that was the best, and especially in this one where they introduced a bunch of characters, like not necessarily out of nowhere. I know like the team of Spartans that hang out with Master Chief in that game are from the books, but you wouldn't know that unless you read the books or had friends who read the books. And they've never been in previous games. They just show up out of nowhere and they're just like, "Well, it's good to see you, Chief." And he's like, "Good to see you too." And then we're all just meant to go with that. And then there's like
Clearly.
Locke and his team of other people who are hunting him down. I don't know, like.
But like I said, I love Microsoft. Like back in the day, I'd say in like the Xbox 360 era, like Microsoft was my place to go. Like I was all I played, like Halo, Gears of War. That was when they started
Yeah.
coming out with all the new IPs, right? And then since then, I feel sorry for Microsoft because I feel like they just don't know what they're doing. They're like Will Ferrell, like I don't know what to do my hands in a camera type thing. Like it's.
I don't know what to do with my franchises at a conference.
Yeah,
so
because like all they're doing is just constantly milking their franchises over and over and over again. And it's like Microsoft was great because Gears of War was something so new at the time and was so cool. Like just the idea of it was so dark and awesome. The new Halo that came out on the new console looked amazing. It was different, you know? Everything started to feel fresh. And now like you're going to Xbox One and it feels like they're dropping interesting ideas. Like Scalebound, regardless if you thought it was cool or not, it was something different. Something that was cool, and that gets canned. Seems like they're having developer struggles, and then they're just relying on like Gears and Halo to like bring them through this rut, and it's like not working. So this brings me to my question: is I feel like they're going to focus a ton on Scorpio, the new console that they've been talking about. But do any of you have any excitement to hear anything about it?
Zero.
As a PC gamer, absolutely none, because I already have a 60 FPS console. I'm on it right now.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, there's no point to it if you've got a PC that can run games at a decent frame rate. Like, there's literally no point to it.
And they have.
If you don't care about Halo, there's no point.
They have no exactly, and Halo's the only thing. And the problem with them is they basically have like just developer mills now. Like they have 343, which is just a Halo studio named after Halo characters, and they have the Coalition, which is just a Gears studio named after a Gears. I don't know, like another faction. Gears lore thing, right? Yeah, a Gears faction. So they just have like these mills that just churn out one franchise over and over and over again. So you need a really good excuse to convince people to buy what is probably going to be an $800 system.
Yeah. I mean,
for that much money, I could buy a Vive or something. That would be worth my money. But
yeah,
like, there's.
I feel like there has to be some. So my thing is that I just feel like Microsoft isn't dumb. I mean, they are, but they're not dumb in the sense of, like, I feel like they understand what people do want in a sense, because they have tried to push things. Like, in the last conference, they had the Recore, and they had all those ideas, but they kind of fell flat in terms of, like, actual gameplay. But they were cool ideas. They just haven't executed to, like, this prestige, you know? So, Nintendo, like, they understand what we're looking for, and they're changing. And, like, since they've had, what's his name again? Phil Spencer. Like, they've been going in a right direction to try and change their marketing attitude towards us. So I feel like they must have something to go with Scorpio. Maybe HoloLens involved? I don't know.
Whatever happened to that?
They had that like an ARG thing, right?
Like they have exciting, tech,
but they didn't do anything with it.
They have cool tech, and they have a lot of power now with this console. So I feel like they can. They have a lot of breathing room to do things. But the thing is that they need IPs for this, and the only thing that is presumed to be around is the Sea of Thieves Rare game that seems okay.
We're all very excited for that.
Yeah, it got positive reception, but like at people who played it, but no one else seemed to really care, and I don't seem interested. Like, it doesn't seem super fascinating. It doesn't seem like something where I'm like, I need a console for this. It just seems like
I'm
it's
down
a game.
for a good pirate game, but there's nothing on it. Like, you can search for it, and there's not really any videos or images or articles or anything. Like,
second thing is Crackdown 3. Like they've been teasing it, and then it's kind of been in limbo, and like it has to come out at some point. Like they have to show it now at this point, right? But like, is that even worth it? Like Crackdown 1 and 2 was like, they were good games, but they were nothing where I sat there going like, oh, this is the next best thing, you know? It's not a big IP where you're like, people are gonna get crazy hype. I feel like it's a niche audience that they're thinking is bigger than what it is.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's written down in front of me, like, you couldn't convince me that Crackdown 3 has ever been talked about, is the thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. They need to come out with something big that we haven't seen before for me to really care, and they have to find something that goes with the Scorpio that makes you want to care about that console, because I do not care about it. Unless there's something that's worth it to go on it, I won't care, and unless it's exclusive, I still won't care. So Microsoft is in this weird position where they've opened themselves up and made it like, hey, we're the cool kids, we have PC, we have this, and I love them for that. But at the same time, they have nothing to put on them where I'm like, yes, thank you. Like, I don't care about...
They started this whole console generation on the wrong foot with that whole, when they tried to make the Xbox One always on DRM stuff.
And and they've changed their image. Like I said, I love the new image they're pushing, but it's just been bad since then.
from like the first word, it was just stumbling and trying to pick up, but then keeping to fall over. It's not good for them.
Yeah,
So,
no,
yeah.
they've never looked particularly good this generation. Like nothing they've done has impressed me, except because I see here that you say teased and rumored as Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, actually, that one is what I'm pretty excited. I was just gonna bring that up. The only thing I'm interested in by Nintendo. Sounds so stupid because I'm not a big
Microsoft.
indie guy. I love big AAA games. Like I love the big stuff, But for some reason, all of these consoles are interesting me with their indies. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest, one of my favorite
Me too.
Metroidvanias. So the second one being announced, it's probably not going to be exclusive to Microsoft. If it is, it'll just be a timed exclusive, or
Like
it'll be
the
on
first.
PC, and I'll be super excited about that. The second one is Cuphead.
Oh my god, I've been waiting for that game.
Everyone's been waiting for
years.
Cuphead. And so I have a little bit of a scoop on this just from following it, is that Cuphead was supposed to come out, but then people played it and they were like, this is boring. Like, it's super cool, but like the actual map is boring.
So they went a boss rush game.
Yeah, so they went back to the studio and kind of fixed it up, and they've been tweaking it again. So hopefully Cuphead comes out this year, and that would be a game that I'm interested to play if it comes out on the Xbox Anywhere, like for PC. Super down, super excited.
The Xbox app is the problem. Like, Ori and the Blind Forest is on Steam, but that was pre-Xbox Store trying to be some sort of competing thing. So I don't know if it's going to come out on Steam is the problem. And if it's not on Steam, I'm never going to play it. Same with Cuphead, for that matter. I'm not going to, the Windows Store.
The Windows Store is in Xbox, is a Windows 10 exclusive thing, right? You can't use it on any other operating system?
Yeah, you need to have Windows
Couldn't tell
10,
ya.
which I don't have.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I have a partitioned hard drive for that, but I'm not going to plug it in just for
Cuphead?
freaking one indie game.
You don't want to play Cuphead?
Cuphead looks really cool.
I just
To be
don't want to
completely
back.
I mean,
honest.
yeah,
Never
the
come
art
out
style
now.
is selling me almost on this game, but like, still.
Okay, so actually another thing really quickly, because this is kind of their benchmark thing for the Scorpio, and I don't really know where to put this in because it's Activision and they don't have their own conference. Middle-earth Shadow of War, the second game, is anyone interested in it? Because it's supposed to be the marquee title for Scorpio, like with
Isn't that
4K
Warner
and all
Brothers?
that.
Yeah, I love the first Shadow of War game. It was.
Oh yeah,
I was
sorry, it is Warner Brothers. You're right.
Like it was a ton of fun. I love the weird nemesis system where the NPCs like became kind of a part of your story just by killing them. It was great. Like going up against the same guy and having him kick your ass every time and then like taunt you while he's doing it. It was infuriating, but in the best way.
I like the Nemesis system a lot as well. I played it a bit at a buddy's place. I don't think that's a console seller, frankly, because it's on everything.
Yeah. And that's the issue. Like I said, we come back to no big AAA exclusive game where you're like, damn, this is where to play games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to
And
the
I
other
think
ones, their first party is so barren or so samey that it only caters to that same people. And I think that's Microsoft's biggest problem. And the thing that they have to prove to the general masses this conference, like they need to do it this conference, that like we are not just a place that has some third-party games. We have exclusives. We have things that you should be interested in. They're the ones who I'm most looking forward to watching, just because I feel like they must have something up their sleeve. Because if they don't, they're gonna bomb.
They're fucking doomed. Yeah.
So that's just.
I don't know. I feel like the people who like. I mean, because obviously all of the big multi-platform games all come out on all of the consoles. So like there are people who are entrenched in that cult. I don't want to say cult. That fandom of that fandom of Microsoft. Like people who like play Call of Duty or just throw out a big game. Like they could play it on a PS4, sure, but they like Microsoft. They like Xbox Live. They like whatever. So they'll pick up that system for that game, even if they could get more games on another system and the game they like, So like, I think we're really overestimating how badly they're doing. I mean, they're probably not doing as well as Sony in terms of
they're
like,
definitely
sales.
making money. Let's be
that's
clear
what I'm
here.
saying.
They're
Like,
not
I
like
don't
in the red and gonna go bankrupt
I don't think like this E3 or even next, like say they show nothing and next year they show nothing. I really don't think it'll be more than, it'll probably be like until the next console generation, until if it keeps going this way.
But what I mean more by that is like, I think it's it's like they're never going to catch up in terms of like the I don't want to say the console race, but like in terms of just like sales and just overall like feel, like what people feel about them. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo's kind of coming back on this rush with everyone wanting to Switch, and it's running out everywhere, and like the whole portability thing is making people go crazy. And then you have like Sony, who's just on top and king, and we'll get into how fucking amazing all their stuff is right now. And then we have Microsoft, who's just kind of there, and they just exist right now.
Yeah, but I think as long as they're making money, I really don't think they'll care about like.
They do. They really care about that stuff. You can tell from the way that they've been talking about all their cancellations and like weird stuff happening. They're like, we are going to change because this is affecting them. It has to be affecting them.
I'd assume so. I mean,
because Microsoft is bigger than just the games. It's not their main focus. So Microsoft can easily look at something and go, this is not a gigantic revenue focus, so we're just cutting you. They could do some. Microsoft's been crazy to do stuff like that before. Not saying they would directly, but they could cut funding to it, make it just lower and lower. But Sony's big focus is gaming. Gaming is their big focus now. Like they've shifted from TVs and other things to focus mostly on the PlayStation.
It's like the only thing that makes them money now.
Is their video games.
Certainly not their fucking film division with the Emoji Movie is their next big thing coming out.
Oh my God, don't remind me that's a real thing. Jesus Christ.
All right, so I guess we got our thoughts. Any wild predictions or anything that you really want that could come out of Microsoft that like you wouldn't expect?
I am hoping for, well, not a Gears of War, but the same kind of thing that Gears of War did for the 360, do for the Scorpio. Some new first or third person shooter that is mold breaking in some mechanic. Just some neat out of the box kind of thing.
So Splatoon on Xbox?
Kinda. Like again, in that same kind of fashion of where it has that neat mechanic that is unique to itself, that is built around the mechanics of doing. Gears of War had the
Chainsaw Bayonet,
as well as the
just the whole aesthetic of
crouch down for running, as well as being able to go quickly to walls and bounce around that way, and just had a bigger skill pool around it, more than just a point and click shooter.
Yeah.
How about you, Peter? Anything you want to put your shekels on?
Yeah, if I was going to put money on something for Microsoft, I would probably, to be honest, I'd probably put down the second most disappointing E3 they've had since the consoles have launched. So obviously the first one was an abject failure because we're still talking about it. I think this might be their second worst. Because like shit leaks all the time, and nothing has come out regarding why people should buy a Scorpio. They have essentially no first party at all.
I mean, they've just been talking about how great the tech is, and that's it.
Yeah,
which
if
is
you cared
great,
about
like,
tech, you would buy a PC.
Yeah, tech with no games is
like,
nothing.
For the layperson who is a good person who's going to buy a console, it's just like, okay, yeah, Sony fucking flops, bruv, is like in my console now. So,
give me all the teraflops.
Give me all my teraflops, bruv. I don't really think anything's going to come out. Like, I can't think of a single franchise that Microsoft still like talks about that isn't being churned out by just like a slave developer that only does that thing, like 343 and Coalition.
Yeah, I agree.
George,
George,
I'm sad, but that's it.
George, anything that you want to think? Anything that in your dreams that you would like?
Oh, I couldn't even. Like, if I wanted to try to pull an old franchise, like all of them are on PC now, so I don't. I mean, I'm always down for a good pirate game, so maybe they'll show something for Sea of Thieves that'll blow.
I mean, I think they have to show Sea of Thieves, but
if not that, then I really I'm so not interested in anything they're doing. Like
Killer Instinct Season 2, man.
So I think what I want to see, like very out of left wing, is I think that they've killed that whole Platinum partnership. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. You know what I mean? I think after Square Enix had Nier Automata do really well and stuff, I think Platinum is going to side more with like Sony, Square Enix, Nintendo, those kinds of people from now on. And I think they're just going to stay clear of Microsoft forever. Yeah. But I would like to see maybe them try and get like a JRPG or like take something from Nintendo, not Nintendo, well, Nintendo and Sony's market, like a little bit of that stuff, like the JRPG, the Japanese element stuff, like action.
I don't think those games ever did well on Microsoft platforms.
They don't,
though.
but like it would be cool to have. They don't do well on it because every time they put them over, they're shit. Like the exclusives that were on Microsoft were terrible. Like we don't.
What about Lost Odyssey? Wasn't that great?
Lost Odyssey was not great. It was mediocre. And then you have The Last Remnant, which was literally a steaming pile of garbage. Like, there's nothing good that has ever come out on like a Microsoft console that's an RPG or Japanese that's like good, right? So they need to get that market. I think it'd be really cool if they had like some crazy partnership that was just like, here's the game, and you're like, whoa, this looks awesome, you know?
Who the hell would it be with?
And I think Microsoft said they're not into this, but I feel like they have to kind of go with that Sony format of like a really good action adventure story game, because they're just leaving that market unattended. Like, they're just like multiplayer and have a story and Halo and another shooter. It's like, make something that's a little bit different.
You mean something Uncharted-esque?
Or maybe even like, it's going to sound weird, but maybe like a Ratchet and Clank style game, or like a Knack, or something that appeals to like a different audience. Like, they're just so in that like Halo, Gears of War, edgy. We're like
very bro.
MLG Pro Stress, Mountain Dew, Doritos, bro. You know, like they need to kind of get out of that mold and be like, look, we have other things. We have
the Scorpio better have fucking quick scope assist.
Yeah, dude.
It would take a lot to break that whole, dude bro aesthetic that they've got.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure. But it's a start, and it gets people intrigued. Like, it gets the hardcore intrigued about like, oh, well, this is different. I might be interested in this, you know? So I don't know. That's just how I feel. I think having something cool like that would be surprising to me, and I'd be thoroughly surprised, and I enjoy it. I enjoyed it more. Or actually, if they show things with HoloLens and like actually in a gaming aesthetic, I'd be really pleased with that. I really want to see how HoloLens works more. Just as like a side note, nothing to do with games. I just like the HoloLens.
I agree with you.
Looks cool.
The little they showed about it was intriguing. Like AR stuff is, I think, kind of a little bit cooler than VR stuff, because you can do a lot more with it with less, cumbersome equipment. You just a pair of glasses and you're looking around at all kinds of weird stuff, as opposed to this giant headset that's got to have 14 cables plugged into your PC.
Yeah, it's like being on life support.
Yeah. If you ever used a Vive, like they're, at least the kit that I use, it's like legit this weird like 5-prong cable that wraps around the back of your head, goes down the back of your neck. It's very disconcerting.
All right, so I guess that covers Microsoft. So yeah,
a lot of pessimism in that one. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody who has an Xbox. We're just not on your side right now.
I mean, no one has an Xbox. We're a Nintendo-based system. Everyone has a Nintendo. So we're gonna get into the next conference, and I have a lot to say about this one. Sony's conference. They always have literally the best conferences every year, and every year I lose my shit over the awesome stuff they show. Sony has been killing it consistently every year. Every year I watch it, and they just keep getting better and better. Like, they just keep knowing what they're doing, and they have their flow. Like, it's gone to the point where last conference they had like 6 words spoken, and it was just like gameplay, new announcement, gameplay. And you're just like, bro, shit. And, like, it was just awesome, dude. Like, Sony kills it. Sony knows what we want, and they like cut all the bullshit filler, and they're just like, here's what you want. We're going to put an hour of just shit tons of gameplay and trailers, and everyone like goes crazy. They had a live orchestra last year, and they did the entire conference with a live orchestra. Like, man, I don't know. I'm super excited for what they have. Every year they have something awesome.
It's always been the console that I would pick up if I was ever to grab a console. I've always been team PS4 personally.
Yeah, so like I said, I have a PS4, and every game I played, like I said, Persona 5 came out, amazing game. Nier Automata was amazing. Uncharted 4, when we played it, was amazing. Horizon was a really good game. I liked
Horizon a lot. It surprised me. Like, when that game came out, I was
Yeah, Horizon. It was really, really, really good. I wouldn't say it's in my top anymore. I thought it would be, and then after playing like Persona and Nier and Zelda and all these amazing games, like the greatest year of gaming this year.
It's been a really great year.
It's gone off.
June.
Yeah.
Half done.
And they have a bunch of other games that I'm interested in that are exclusive too. Yakuza, sounds really cool. Something I want to maybe play if it goes on sale. I want to play. I have Gravity Rush 1 and 2 on my console right now that I'm going to try and beat at some point. Super interested in that. They just have more content coming out. And then here we go. Here's all the future stuff and the stuff we're going to talk about for Sony. First thing, the big things that they're going to show off, we saw a giant thing shown for Los Angeles of God of War, a giant building covered in it.
So you mean Dad of War?
Yeah,
Dad
so
of War,
clearly
yeah.
they're going to
Dad of
show off
War.
God of War. Anyone interested in this?
It's the last of War, so maybe it looks pretty good.
I think I liked God of War, the first however many games there are, but I'm really intrigued. Like it looks interesting. It's got like a weird, I want to say like Witcher vibe to it.
I mean,
but
I haven't been this
little bit, eh?
excited
Yeah, that's
for
true.
God of War in a while, and then when I saw this trailer and how it was shown and how it's like they're actually trying to build up his character more than just being some raging lunatic that just kills a bunch of shit.
like it's weird to say this about a God of War game, but I'm actually intrigued about the lore. It's weird. Like I want to know how they go from if it's just going to be like completely new. Like it's called God of War and it's just this new mythological pantheon instead of like we're not going to even try to connect the two series.
Yeah.
Is he kind of like
Try
Link,
to-
where he just like comes back over and over and over again
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
Like Kratos is Big Boy Link now?
I wonder.
Where he's
Yeah,
like new world, new timeline with where it splits.
I mean, maybe. I'm just saying, I'm not like the most excited about this. Like, it's not something I'm looking at going like day one purchase. I know a lot of people are, but it's something I'm definitely intrigued in. I want to know more about it. I want to know a little bit more about the mechanics. And knowing
I miss
Sony,
the combos a lot because God of War used to be like I've played 1 and 2 like years and years ago, but I've watched people play all 4. And the combat in God of War has always been like insane shit to watch. It's like when you get really, really good at a high level, players are unbelievable. And this one here looks a lot like the combat looked about as good as the melee combat from The Last of Us, which is really like sub-mediocre levels of. It's a little too close up to like where Kratos is. The camera's really tight. I find it seems like it might be hard to tell what's going on, and it's such a different style now. Like I'm definitely curious because the gameplay demo they showed was incredible.
yeah,
They only showed that one demo, whatever, a couple years ago, whatever it was,
2 years
right?
ago.
it
Yeah.
was last year.
It was last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it looked really good. I'm actually excited.
Yeah, it's something I'm looking really forward to. Never been a big fan of God of War. Now watching this, I'm like, I'm intrigued. I mean, it's not something I'm looking at like pre-order this shit. I don't really pre-order games, but like
Stop pre-ordering
thought
video
process.
games.
I don't pre-order video games either.
Don't.
No, I
There's
don't,
no point.
but
There's no point to it.
But what I'm trying to say is the idea of your hype level. Like my hype level's calm, but it's something that I'm now looking at that I was never interested in before. Next big game that they're going to talk about, well, they've gone on record saying that it's going to be in a major way. Days Gone, Studio Bend, one of their in-house studios, working on this game for a while. It basically looks like The Last of Us with faster zombies and actual
And
zombies.
bikers, right?
Yeah, and you're bikers in Portland. How do you guys feel about this?
I don't know about
I
you
don't-
guys, but I'm years into being tired of zombies. At
Yeah,
this
you
point. Like,
couldn't sell me a zombie game if you told me it would save my life.
you
Yeah.
could pay me to play a zombie game. At this
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
kind of on
I'm
the same
so-
boat, but like the game does look interesting, but at the same time, I'm just like I don't care. All at the same time, like I'm always interested in Sony's first-party games because they always are pretty high quality, especially with how
Yeah.
they've been treating their studios. So any game that comes out like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm excited because this looks cool, the mechanics look cool, but then I'm just like zombies, and I'm just like, nope.
I
Like,
mean, it's the biggest reason why I haven't played The Last of Us. Like, I don't care about zombies. I don't like. It's not interesting to me. Like I know the story wrapping around the rest of that game is supposed to be incredible, but like, I don't give a shit about zombies. I don't care.
Give me vampires. Give me werewolves. Just something different.
Give me a huge high budget game with like a crazy epic story with like lots of emotion that's framed with vampires. I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. Are you kidding me?
Well, there's Vampire or whatever the hell it's called. It's coming out by that French developer that made Life is Strange and the Remember Me. That's it.
oh,
When
okay.
was the last time we had a vampire game? Jeez.
So,
The Blood and Wine expansion for The Witcher. I never miss an option to talk about The
but
Witcher.
I don't know if that counts.
all right.
As much as I love Blood and Wine.
Next game, I guess none of us are, like, I'm interested in seeing anything Sony offers, but Days Gone is like, it's there. You know, they're going to show it off in a big way and whatever. So some other games that are most likely going to be at the event because they were at the last E3 and they weren't announced. They were kind of announced and just shown. Uncharted Lost Legacy, just the episodic part where we talk about the I forgot her name, but they were both in the Uncharted series.
She's played by Claudia Black. That's it.
Yeah.
Is that DLC for Uncharted 4, or is it a whole
No,
new
it's
game?
a whole separate expansion. It's not a full game. They're calling it an expansion, but you can buy it separately.
Okay. That's
so,
weird.
Has anyone played Uncharted 4?
No,
I haven't.
Okay, one of my favorite games of last year. I thought it was the best Uncharted, easily. I thought just the way they told the story of, like, the pirate. It's about pirates, like dead pirates and stuff, and you trying to find treasure for dead pirates.
zombie pirates.
No. There's no supernatural stuff. And that's what was amazing about it. It was just you on a treasure hunt, you know? It was very Indiana Jonesy feeling. Like, I know they're all like that, but like this one very
battle
much
yetis
so.
like in the second one?
Nope.
Fuck.
It's all just pure human versus human, and you trying to find treasure, and you uncover the story of the pirates as you progress. So it feels like you're looking at the story of Nathan Drake, and then you're also looking at the story of the pirates in the tents, because like as you go through, you see what's happening to the pirates and like the story of the chest. And it was amazing. Like the second you uncover, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but the second you uncover this giant pirate island, like it's incredible. Like one of my favorite games of last year. I loved it. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing Lost Legacy. I like all the Uncharted games, so I'm just excited about it. I'm excited.
I played 2 and 3. They're great.
Yeah. Like I said,
I didn't have a PS4 when 4 came out, but I'm gonna pick it up probably at some point.
You should pick it up as soon as possible. I promise you, it's one of the best games you're gonna play.
I mean, I love the franchise. I love it to death.
Yeah.
I just didn't. The timing didn't work out for me. But
go pick it up right now. Come over to my house and I'll lend you the copy of Uncharted 4. I have it with me. It's amazing. And I'm excited about the expansion. It's not going to be the most mind-blowing thing. It's going to be more of it, but I like how they tell stories, so I'm excited for it. Second one, Detroit Become Human. Everyone's favorite publisher. Everyone's favorite director there who does all those choice games. David Cage.
Yep.
Yeah. He's always good for a larf.
Oh, man.
I like Heavy Rain a lot, personally. I didn't play Beyond Two Souls, though. He chose, like, 2 of the least attractive people in Hollywood. Like, Willem Dafoe is a monster, and Ellen Page's face bothers me.
Willem Dafoe is the hottest man in the world. He plays the best villains.
William Dafoe is like, he's gone so low that he's reached the other side at maximum potential.
Shakespeare in action.
I mean, he's great in John Wick.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's great at everything.
Yes, he is. I don't think he's in anything.
He's
bad.
the best. He's the best Green Goblin ever.
Yep.
He looks like a Green
that's
Goblin.
true.
Like his face just looks like the Green Goblin. Like
he's in a movie you're not supposed to watch. From what I hear, he's an Antichrist. Don't watch it. People tell me it's incredibly disturbing.
Okay. But yeah, so anyone interested in this? Actually, so I'm gonna be frank here. I didn't really like any of David Cage's games that much. But this one seems very fascinating to me. I don't know. I love the idea of existentialism in games. That's why Nier, I loved it so much. Like Westworld, amazing. I watched the whole series.
You have a soft spot for robots who want to be people.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's such a cool storyline to me. And Detroit Become Human is similar, and I'm just into that. So.
Oh wait,
I don't know, man. I just don't have any faith in David Cage. Like he's just all of his games start off with like promise. Like there's like a weird kernel in them, you know, like there's a little thing where you kind of think like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. And then it starts getting a little bit more interesting and then it just falls completely flat. Like I don't like, and to top off, like, I don't really like these weird negotiation mechanics that are in some games where like you just kind of say a thing and hope that they don't get mad at you. Like I don't, I just don't find like those ever really work well. So.
I have I have Omicron as well. So when David Bowie died, they gave away Omicron, the Nomad Soul, which David Bowie is in, which is one of David Cage's other fucking weird experimental games.
Except that game doesn't actually work. You can't finish it.
Really?
There's a really easy way apparently to like get your whole game corrupted, and it just happens so often that you just like most people can't finish that game.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, a good thing I never tried. I never tried to make it that far.
All right. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited about the whole Android thing. They definitely are probably going to show more footage of it, so I'm excited to see that. Like last year I was excited about it, so this year I'm excited about it too. Let's get into the big one. I think, George, you and me are like super stoked on this.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like that game looks dope, and there hasn't. I mean, this is the often touted line. Like there hasn't been a good Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2 on like the original PS2 or whatever. Like that game is so good, and every other game is just like grasped at its greatness and never quite reached it. But man, this game looks dope.
So
I'm so excited.
Just so we have context, Insomniac is making the game. Insomniac is known for its stuff like Ratchet and Clank. It's known for Spyro,
which is also great.
And more recently, it's known for the Xbox game there. Oh, what's it called again? Sunset Overdrive, which has a ton of movement mechanics that are really amazing that would fit very well in a Spider-Man game.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just saying, if there's a developer that's going to make a amazing Spider-Man game, it is Insomniac. There's like no better studio to make a Spider-Man game. So I am so excited. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I love Spider-Man. And the fact that they're just going to make an open world game, or maybe an open, I don't even know what it is. They haven't shown it.
It has to be open world.
They have to show it.
The way to do Spider-Man's whole thing is movement, and you need a big open city to move around. Otherwise, it just feels like crap.
So this is one of the games
Spider-Man in Kansas.
Spider-Man in Montana.
Fighting the cult. Far Cry Spider-Man.
Just have Spider-Man on the side of the road with like his thumb up trying to hitch a ride.
Yeah, I have no big buildings. I'm screwed. But yeah, I'm super excited. This is probably one of my most anticipated, and I can't wait. I hope that they show it. I hope that they show more. I hope that there's actual gameplay that we can play, because I will be in that booth the whole day. I'm so excited for this game. I think this is the one chance they have to make Spider-Man like do good, like actually be really, really good. So.
Have they said when that game's coming out?
No, there's no announcement. There's nothing. They haven't shown anything practically. They showed a trailer last year, and that was it. So,
and wouldn't that be crazy if they just dropped like, it's coming out next week?
I mean,
it's out now. You can
there
download
could be a
it.
chance that it comes out by the end of this year. Like I have hopes that it might show up this year or maybe in 2018, like early.
I mean, the movie's coming out soon, right? In a month or so.
Yeah, but they're not related at all.
I know, but just like for branding sake,
I get it.
Sense
But no, it won't come out in that time. There's no way. So
yeah,
some other things that they've talked about. Let's go into some things that they showed last year, because Sony's really big on showing games a long time in advance. They're not like Bethesda where they just release games the month after they come out at E3.
Yeah.
So they also have Dreams, which has been for like the past 3 E3s. It's like a game by Media Molecule, people who make Little Big Planet. They made Tearaway, like all those weird creative games where it's like you design your own world. And Dreams is kind of like this amalgamation of like you do whatever and weird stuff happens and no one really knows what the game is. And it's been shown a while and they keep trying to show it off, but it keeps getting lukewarm reception.
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, it's weird.
I have a vague memory of seeing a few people on stage play something, but I can't remember what they were playing or how they were playing. Like a dream. It's all vague illusions and shifting images.
I can't even remember seeing it,
Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to talk too much about it, but it's okay. So they're going to show off Knack 2. They've already announced it. For sure they're going to show it off. Anyone interested in Knack 2?
I didn't even know they were making another one.
Yes, Blake?
Did that game sell well?
My only interest in Knack 2, because all that I know of Knack is exclusively from Video Game Donkey.
Yes.
So the only reason why I'll be really excited about Knack 2 is Video Game Donkey.
His video after that game comes out is going to be so great.
Immediately after E3 will be a pinnacle video.
So yeah, we'll get over that. So next, 2 big things that are probably not coming out this year, but they might tease a little bit because they keep doing it, you know. Last of Us 2. Do you think they're going to show it off at all? You think it's not going to show up in any form? It's kind of a long ways away. Naughty Dog's doing it, so...
I think they'll drop some kind of new trailer or something. Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't think
Maybe
they
some
will.
gameplay, but nothing else.
I think they're
really.
going to skip it.
Really?
Oh, I doubt.
I
it.
think they have
It's their
so
big
much
thing.
footage, and they're going to show new stuff that they can save it for like the PlayStation experience
When is that?
in December, always.
Maybe.
So yeah,
I don't know.
And last thing, Death Stranding.
What the hell is that game about? What's happening?
We still
Are
don't
we
know.
gonna find out?
Probably not. We
Mads
probably won't know
Mikkelsen's
anything
in
about
it.
that game until it comes out.
We probably won't know anything even when
Guillermo
we
del
finish
Toro's
it. 'Cause
in
what do
it.
we really know about Metal Gear?
Fuck Konami, you know.
Fuck Konami.
There we go. That's Death Stranding. I still don't know what it is. I feel like it's still a spiritual successor to whatever their Silent Hill game was supposed to be, and they just decided to kind of recreate it under a different like.
What's with all that
monocle or
weird
whatever?
meat driving tanks?
There's
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean-
octopus and like water life stuff.
If I were them, I would be like, just let's make it as close as we can make it to what we were going to do without getting sued, just to fuck them.
Yeah, I think
Just-
that's exactly
just
what
as
they're
a
doing.
big fuck you.
But my thing is, I feel like now we're getting to the point where like this game is a far away ways. Like it's gonna be not for a while. So I feel like
Oh,
they
yeah.
should just tone it down and just release a trailer when they have footage, just like gameplay.
Just another
footage.
weird trailer, maybe just to get people talking about it again
I mean,
for
they
another
are,
week and a
and
half.
they'll keep doing it, but it's like they need to stop. They need to just start showing footage, like actual gameplay, and be like, this is actually showing what this game is now.
Yeah, the game part of their video game announcement that
Yeah.
we get to see. Yeah.
You see a lot of video, not a lot of game.
Yeah, exactly. I see a
Okay.
lot of real actors.
So the two bigger things that I think we should bring up, that these are like still speculation again. You think they're going to show Kingdom Hearts 3?
I don't know.
think they'll show something about it.
Maybe. I think.
'Cause I feel like
think-
they've talked about
maybe.
it every year since like the PS3 was first, released. Like new PS3, here's Kingdom Hearts 3, and then every year it's just been Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a coming, and we're just going to get the same thing again.
Yeah, probably.
I think probably they'll show something. Maybe because they showed something last year too. Like they had a few seconds of gameplay, and they came out with like that prologue thing for the PS4. So I feel like the game's probably getting close. It's probably closer to like maybe a year and a half before that game
It's
comes out. I
still
would
so
say.
far away. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
It's
hey, I
Tetsuya
mean,
Nomura. The game's never going to come out, and then they're gonna ditch him.
That's
They're
what
going
they
to
said
put a
about-
new director on it, and then it's going to release. That's what
I
happened
mean,
with
it says
Final
something
Fantasy
about Versus
15.
13. I mean, that game came out, so
Yeah, that game came out after they ditched Tetsuya Nomura, and they put someone else on it because the game took too long to finish.
because you'd probably rather be playing Kingdom Hearts.
No, and then he switched to Kingdom Hearts, and like then they're like, Tetsuya will let you play around with Kingdom Hearts until we're gonna let that cook in the oven, and then we're gonna realize that you're taking too much time,
I feel like
and then we're gonna
that's
put
your-
you onto
well,
Final
Let Kingdom
Fantasy
Hearts
7,
base for a while.
and then we're gonna let that bake for like another 7 years, and then we're finally going to kick you off of that and put you on another one, and then we're gonna make Final Fantasy 7 number 2 remake will be ready to be released again because now it's
Oh, God.
outdated.
They're just gonna change engines and give it to Gearbox, who will eventually release it, and it'll be garbage.
It'll be Borderlands
just like
7
Duke Nukem
Final
and
Fantasy
Aliens.
Edition.
What?
Borderlands 7 Final Fantasy Edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested, and I really want to see footage of Final Fantasy 7, even though I don't really care. Like I just love the idea of the hype of it.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt any of that, especially with the limbo that Final Fantasy 7 has recently been caught up with, where they're ditching their publisher. The developers. They've just canned them because they said the quality wasn't up to par, and now they're doing it in house.
When's the last fucking time they made a good Final Fantasy game? Who'd they have doing it?
Final Fantasy
Like they
15.
did-
It was
Yeah,
in-house. It was
15,
Tetsuya
15, and then
Nomura,
there's
and then they
three
kicked
shit
him off
games
and they
before
put
that, wasn't
Tabata
there?
on it.
I don't know. The last good Final Fantasy game, in my opinion, was probably 10. Like 11 and 14 are MMOs, which don't
15
really
wasn't
count
bad.
to me. But
I beat 15.
What?
I thought it was pretty good.
I didn't finish it, to be honest. I got bored and stopped playing it.
I thought it was
like,
pretty good.
Especially because I kept hearing that they were going to patch in like new story
Oh, yeah,
bits,
the
and I didn't want to
ending.
have to restart the game. So I don't know, but in terms of a full, complete, start to finish, great Final Fantasy game, in my opinion, the last one was 10.
Then that's like over a decade ago now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or that game came out like early in the PS2's era. It was like the year 2001, I think.
I mean,
Ouch.
we'll probably get
Sounds
more
right.
into Square Enix games when we get into the Nintendo side because they're still doing some cool stuff.
I mean, people defend 12, but I don't really like 12 either. So
they're coming out with a remaster of it.
Yeah.
You know what Square Enix isn't making is good Western games anymore since they've shit-canned all of their good Western developers.
Hitman's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Deus Ex is on
Oh,
indefinite
no, hold
ice.
on.
What's happening with Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider is still around, and Tomb Raider has been really good. I loved the last Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's been good, but
Tomb
they've
Raider,
been apparently consistently underselling. So
Tomb
Because they
Raider
want to
was
sell 50
almost
million
as,
copies of Tomb Raider, and then when they sell 5, they're like, well, I guess it was shit.
to be honest, Tomb Raider's combat was way better than Uncharted, and I loved playing that game. Yeah, I said it. Tomb Raider's combat was better than Uncharted.
I'm getting the hell
I
out of
have
here.
Tomb Raider, but I've still never played it.
You should
so-
play it. The Rise of the Tomb Raider, like the second one, was amazing. One of my
the
favorites
first
of
one on
last
Steam.
year too. So a couple of things that we want to go over. Nothing's been announced, but some wild things. Sony always has a thing on Destiny and Call of Duty. They've been kind of be like the first party, like where they market it. That's just
Cool.
whatever. Second thing is Sucker Punch, a big first party studio. They do things like
Sly Cooper.
yes, like
yeah.
Cooper. I mean, I guess they do also
Infamous. That was another.
Infamous,
one of those, which I
Infamous
really
Second
liked.
Son, all of them really good games. A really good studio, first party studio. They haven't been announced anything for a while, so they're definitely cooking up something. I wonder what it is. Maybe Sly Cooper could be actually.
Like another one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sly 4 or
I feel like
5?
So here's the thing: is with Sony, I like Sony because when a studio has an interesting idea, they just kind of go, do it, and we'll give you time to do it. And it seems to be working out, and they've been on like this good streak lately of that kind of like fostering them. So if Sucker Punch has like this cool idea that they want to do, I'm like totally down for it, and I'm excited to see if they potentially have something this time around. Also,
Bloodborne
second
2,
thing.
maybe.
Oh, I didn't get into that. That's going to be my final thing. So there's a lot of rumors going around Bloodborne 2 from Software exclusive. Anyone excited? Anyone want this to be real? Except for me.
I want it to be real, but I doubt it is.
If Bloodborne gets announced, like my life is over. Like
I honestly don't think we'll see Bloodborne maybe ever. I think they're
we're
done.
gonna see it. No. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. I believe in the
Haven't
hype.
they said that they're done with the Soul stuff? Like
Dark Souls is done.
They're done with Dark
as
Souls.
a series. Like,
They didn't say they're done
plot-wise,
with
yeah, maybe that means that Bloodborne's still on the
It is.
on the docket,
It
but
did
I
so
would be
well for
surprised.
Sony. Sony loves fostering their
Sony would be
games.
stupid to just like say, yeah, okay, sure, don't
Sony
make one.
is
They'll
probably
throw
throwing
money at them
so
until
much
they do
money
it,
to
but-
make it.
Well,
Yeah.
they never made another Demon's Souls, right? Like FromSoft's first exclusive.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me because Demon's Souls is a standalone exclusive, and if Bloodborne
kinda,
was as well.
But Demon Souls
Bloodborne
kind of
sold
turned into
PS4s.
Dark Souls. Demon Souls kind of turned into
Yeah.
Dark Souls, and like you could tell that that's that lineage. But like Bloodborne kind of really went off the path and was like, this is faster. It's all about dodging. It's similar play style, but different mechanic, different type of setting, different type of characters. Like the whole like Lovecraftian like style was
which I'm super into.
awesome. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sold systems, which is the big reason why it'll probably get a sequel, but I don't know.
I
I'm
bet you it's the
hesitant to say-
final thing that you see as an announcement, and I
The one
can't
issue
wait.
with that is it's going to proceed the exact same way that like Dark Souls did, because the first Dark Souls has like a weirdly vague but still like ending, and then they still got 2 sequels out of that. So if the pattern repeats itself, where you get like your weird one of 3 weird endings in Bloodborne, and then they just like, well, none of that really mattered because time is odd, and now we're sometime in the future.
If you watch
this
the
whole thing happens
Bloodborne
again.
lore, it's kind of they have a lot of things that they can work with though, because of the way that the hunters work and how they kill like their demon spawn. Like you could just have it in a different type of era, or like even in a different, well, not different type of era, but maybe in like a different city of not West Yarnum, but it's still another group of hunters, and you're a hunter. Anyways, we're not getting into lore
the
because
lore of that
like, if
game
you don't
really sets
understand
up,
it, it's
like-
completely messed up. But
Yeah.
but you can do a lot with it from the way they're talking about it, with like ingesting things and becoming the new mother, and like there's a bunch of things that you can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same city. So totally interested. I don't care what it is. I want more Bloodborne 2. If they announce it at the end, I'll be crying, man.
Or maybe they'll bring back Deep Down. You remember when they were talking
Yeah,
about
it's
Deep
never.
Down,
That's
guys?
Capcom. It's never gonna happen. It's
remember
deep
Deep Down?
down into the ground
I
and never
actually
coming
don't.
back.
What's Deep Down? I don't know what that is.
Deep Down was like a Dark Souls game by Capcom that was like announced once, and everyone got super hype about it, and then like it just never showed the
And
light
they
of
never
day
talked
ever
about it again.
and no one
I've
talks
never
about
heard
it.
of this. I have no idea.
Yeah,
this is.
exactly. That's how deep down it is.
Oh wow, zinger.
It's 6 feet under.
It's
What about
probably
VR?
Yeah, so actually, here's what I'm gonna say. I think they're gonna announce a VR PlayStation 4 bundle, like 2 combined, because they seem to be going kind of more and more into it, like the VR scene, and it seems to be selling pretty good on its own. So I think they might want to try and push it to like more wide scale, so that they can push that market. So I think they might come out with a bundle where it's like you get a PS4 regular with like a VR for like maybe $100 off or something.
You think they would bundle it with the regular PS4, not the Pro?
Yes.
Why? Just for the price?
Or maybe one of
for
each.
the price, and because you don't need the Pro for the power. Like, it doesn't change anything on the VR side.
I mean, now, but who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
VR is a pretty intensive system.
Yeah, but it runs completely separate. Like, from the way that system works, it's like its own box on top of it, and they probably won't want to invest more to... Like, the whole idea is to make it more affordable for VR to be in a household. So maybe they'll come out with ones like PS4 Pro and this, but the Pro is meant to be a luxury item. Like, if you notice how they announce it, they never mention, like, this is way better on PS4 Pro. They're like, this is here, and it'll be better. It'll have 4K. You know what I mean? Like, they've done a good job marketing it, so it's not like, this is the thing to buy. But it's cool. I have a PS4
Scorpio.
Pro. I can play 4K.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool. And I know it's a luxury item, like it's not something you need, and every other game runs perfectly fine with the regular one. So, yeah, I think it'll be on the regular. I think it'll be on the regular for PS4 because I think they're assuming if you're buying a Pro, you probably have enough fucking money to buy a VR headset.
I mean, I bought a Pro because I didn't have a PS4 at all. So
How
it
much
made
is the
sense for
headset
me.
by itself?
500
Fuck.
US?
Canadian,
Oh.
$399.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's like 40
It's
American
definitely
dollars.
I know it's definitely the cheapest VR option, but it's apparently
Yeah.
not like bad for it. You know what I mean? Like,
No, apparently it's really good, and it's one of the goals I have when I go to E3 next week is I want to play VR. I haven't touched it yet. I want to play it.
I like VR. I think it has a lot of potential. I was lucky enough to work in a situation where I did a lot of VR for a long time, so I like it, but it's just the games. There's not a lot. Like, I want to play the Star Trek game that just came out. Like, that's
And there's
dope.
the new
Holiday
shooter
one.
that just came out. Resident Evil 7 is also full VR.
I mean, I'm not gonna touch that because I'm a scaredy cat, but
Yeah.
I'll play Star Trek like crazy. I mean,
And there's a bunch of other cool games that have been recently showing up that everyone's really into. Like, I think VR has slowly started to actually put out some quality stuff. It's just
shooter
like
was
it's still not
Farpoint, right?
super popular. Yeah, Farpoint, and it's a PS4 exclusive. Like, Sony's pushing it, and they're actually putting quality stuff. So
I think the PSVR will really be like a big thing for VR because, like, you can buy a PS4 and just play VR. You don't have to worry about, oh, did I get the right graphics card? Oh, is my PC going to handle this? Oh, is this thing going to even work at all? Like, this is it's a box. It's like a console VR. Like, it's ready made.
the price just needs to be
exactly.
a bit lower. But yeah, I'm excited, and I think Sony might want to. You can't show off VR at a conference. You have to experience it. So I think they might just mention, like, this might be cheaper. I think they're going to try and push it more. Promise me. It's going to be a small segment, but they're going to make something big. Like, here's a bundle, and we're going to cut the price on, like, VR today or something. Like, really, like, right after to, like, make a big impact. Like, we have VR, and we're fully supporting it. And to show that $100 price cut, boom, let's go, you know? Sony's done crazy stuff like that.
Crazy.
But Sony's done crazy shit like that before, so I don't doubt it.
Maybe. It might be a little bit too early for that deep a price cut, though.
Oh,
Maybe next year.
We'll see.
Maybe like $50, but $100 seems like a far-fetched to me.
All right, so we finished up with Sony. Let's go into the big one. The one that
Microsoft,
could
we're
talk
back.
about for to the big one.
Right around.
We weren't done yet.
Nintendo. Nintendo has come and openly said that they are going to focus mostly on Super Mario Odyssey.
Really? That's such a surprise.
I know. I'm so surprised. It's not like Breath of the Wild that
It's
whole
such a
year
small
didn't work
franchise.
out.
Why would they focus so hard on it? I don't get it. Wow.
So officially announced games that they have that are coming to E3 for sure. We know in a large capacity, more than just that. So what we think is the Direct is mostly going to focus on Odyssey, and then throughout the day, like they usually do with their Treehouse, which is like the best part of E3 to watch as a viewer. I find is just the Treehouse stuff. So they have Super Mario Odyssey, ARMS, and Splatoon 2. In particular, for ARMS and Splatoon 2, ARMS is having an open tournament where we can actually. You can compete in the tournament as someone at E3 and play in the ARMS tournament against professional players.
I hope they have a player cam when they're
professional arms.
Because I want to see people flailing around playing that game. That's what I want. I don't care about the game. I want to see people waggling their arms around like a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man going nuts. That's what I want.
And then the second one.
I'm going to bring the little dock thing. If they tried to hand me some Joy-Cons, nah, fam. We're going controller.
And then the second one is the Splatoon. They're going to show off Splatoon 2 by having a tournament from all the players around the world. All the teams qualified through different events. One of them being our event that me and Blake ran the stream for the U.S. team. So go Deadbeat. You're going to win the U.S. side. You're going to bring it home for North America. I trust you, Penguin. So we have U.S. Deadbeat. We have Dynamu, or I guess it's supposed to be like a Dyna meme is the joke it's supposed to be for Japan. It's a Japanese Splatoon team that's probably arguably the top contender to win everything because Japan destroys everyone at Splatoon. Then we have Australia's Blue Ring Octolings, and they had an Oceanic Offensive, another Splatoon company that runs streams for Australia specifically. And then we have Europe with Rising Moon, the French team that dominated ESL. So all these 4 teams qualified, and they're going to E3 to compete in a tournament. And yeah, we're going to go and watch that and cover it as well. So that's pretty cool, and we're going to learn new things. We actually had a little trailer today with the person who's casting it, talking about all the different types of things. So Rainmaker, Splat Zones, Tower Control are all coming back for Splatoon. It's badass. And they changed up some things. How the Rainmaker shoots is more of like a grenade launcher instead of like a giant tornado, which sounds pretty cool. Makes things faster paced. They changed the game type of Tower Control, so instead of like having a path that just keeps following itself until it goes to the end, there's checkpoints, and when you reach the checkpoints, the tower stops for like 10 seconds, so it becomes like this duel of like this point of like attrition, which I feel counters quick respawn. Do you agree with me, Blake, on this?
Oh, 100%. It's probably the best soft counter to the quick respawn stealth jump meta, because as soon as that tower stops, you lose all benefit of being on the tower. You can keep the jump chain going, but it's not going to help you at all. So people are going to be coming off the tower, and then the jumps will happen there, and then it will just break the chain, and it won't be nearly as useful once the tower either retreats back if they aren't able to keep it, or they're able to wait that 10 seconds and push it forward again.
I think another thing that people don't realize too is the idea of the strategy of having a second. Like, people know a checkpoint is coming, so they'll position themselves in a way to be prepared for the checkpoint as opposed to the moving target. So they're like, we know we can hold at this 50 point with 10 seconds, so let's set up for that instead of waiting for the tower at whatever point, you know? I think that's a cool strategy. And the zones are changing too. You can see how much the zone's filling up, and they changed some locations.
Remove some of the saltiness.
Yeah.
Like, why won't it cap? It's clearly not anywhere close.
And then we also had a little sneak peek of Moray Towers remake, having the zone in the middle instead of the sides, which makes that chaotic. The most chaotic thing in the entire world.
It's going to be a hot mess, especially with all those new zip lines flying all over the place. Oh, that middle zone is just pure chaos.
So for those who don't know, I guess Peter and George, is that in Splatoon, there's a map called Moray Towers. And think of it like 2 giant elevated platforms where snipers absolutely destroy anything that's on the middle, like the bottom ground.
Okay.
Like, they just kill everything. Snipers dominate that map, okay? And what the Nintendo or whoever the developers decided to do is, we usually when we play Splat Zones, there's 2 parts on the far left and the far right of the maps, and it's closer to each person's respective base. So you play defense, offense, and you have to cap both zones to start getting points to go down. In this one, they changed it so those side ones are now directly in the middle, where all the snipers get free reign to murder people.
And there's also
and they've
zip
added a
lines
couple of
going
things,
from very different heights all around said place.
So they've just made it insane, like literally chaos. It's just going to be people like killing themselves in the middle, and it's like a disaster.
They made it from like a very kind of static, nothing really happens a whole lot, to it's just going to be like double-digit KDs always, regardless
like
of quick
bloodbath,
respawn.
like pure bloodbath. They've literally turned into Battle Royale, the movie.
Yep.
That sounds fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah, they've turned it from like this very methodical map to just chaos, like absolute chaos. So, yeah, pretty exciting.
Excuse me.
That was what was talked about, and they also just brought up a little bit of things about like competitive community, stuff that they're hopeful for the next game. They seem to be pushing a little bit of the competitive aspect, Nintendo in particular, so that's pretty cool. Thank you, everyone who promoted us. Thank you, Nintendo. Thank you, Bill Trinan. You're cool.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, so that was more the Splatoon side. They announced the ARMS. They have some ARMS competitive people coming in too. Like I said, the Open's coming up. But yeah, so Mario Odyssey. How do you guys feel about that game?
Grand Theft Mario.
So I remember when that was announced, we were already working together, right?
Yes. I was there when the Switch launched, and you saw me because I woke up at like 12, and I was like, the Switch is announced.
That's it, yeah.
Mario.
And I remember before, because I had avoided the memes at that time, and I remember saying it looks like Sonic 06.
Oh, yeah, because of the real people.
Because of the two terrible models that were copy-pasted all over the place. I'm pretty sure it's going to be great, because I played the space one on the Wii. That was fucking great. So their console Marios recently have generally been really, really good, and I know it's like, I don't know, like the not New York looks like crap, but everything else looks fantastic.
I don't know. I've never super been into the 3D Mario games. The only one I ever really liked was Mario Sunshine, but I don't know, looks nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks
I'm
cool, I
really,
guess.
really excited. It's one of the first Mario games that's actually like a Galaxy or like a Super Mario 64 that we didn't have before. It's like it looks very open world and like
There
just
was nothing
exploring.
on the Wii U, eh?
Well, Wii U had like
It's 3D
Super
World.
Mario
3D
Bros.
World,
Wii
which
U?
is just like levels, and you go to the next level and you play a stage.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was a good game, but it's not like the Mario that everyone wants. You know, that open world, get some stars. You know, like really go out and explore. And this looks like that. Like every world looks completely different. So if they're gonna just show the whole Nintendo Direct and show off different worlds and how the game functions, like I'm totally down for that. And I think it's a smart choice on their thing too, just focusing on a game they know is releasing pretty soon for Christmas time, you know?
Yeah,
And
that's
like I
coming out
said,
this year, right?
yeah, and they've had enough directs for ARMS and Splatoon that we kind of know what you're going to get into with those games, so they feel like they don't have to show them off so much. And they have the tournaments for both of them to really get hands-on and show off the game at like a high level too, so I think that's smart as well. And then just focus on that one game. Now they do
ARMS
have
releases immediately after E3.
Yeah, exactly. ARMS releases June 20th, Splatoon releases July 21st, like really soon after E3. So it's pretty smart. They don't have to worry about it. So other things that could be shown off that they've announced from the Switch is Fire Emblem Switch, like an actual Fire Emblem game.
So
on
what's
the
that
Switch.
gonna be?
Well, we don't know yet. It's
Okay.
rumored to be announced.
Okay.
So that would be interesting if they showed it, but I have more of a chance that they're going to show Fire Emblem Warriors, like the Dynasty Warriors style
version?
game for Hyrule Warriors, basically. I mean, I guess that's cool. I don't know. I know you played Hyrule Warriors, George. How'd you like that?
Well, it was the first Dynasty Warriors-esque game I had ever played, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. It was a lot of fun to just roam around and waste fools with Link, you know? It's a lot of fun. But it's not a very deep experience. It's just kind of... I mean, there's a lot... Like, if you look up what's actually, like, content in that game, it's actually kind of freaking bonkers. But it's, in terms of, like, actually useful stuff, it kind of gets samey and boring after a while, I found. I mean, I finished it, but, like, it was an interesting story enough to push me through to finishing that game. But, like, I don't know about Fire Emblem. Like, maybe it'll be good. But, like,
Fire Emblem is like about fictional Europe, right? Like that's.
It's more of a strategy game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but isn't
but
it?
he's
It's not
right in
set in fictional Europe? They're all non.
The settings are
Just
generally
think more medieval type. Yeah.
Okay.
Like fantasy medieval.
Like Berserk,
Europe-esque.
basically.
It's not like medieval Japan. It is more like knights and kings and.
Yeah, it's very
Europe.
Western.
Yeah, at least the ones that I've played from like the GBA on have been that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean that's Fire Emblem. That'll be cool if we see it. Nothing too big to talk about there. Do you think they're going to show off Xenoblade 2? They showed it at the Switch conference. They said that it was coming out kind of like end of 2017, 2018. Do you think they need to show it?
It's a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right?
Yes.
Did that game do well?
So not the Wii U one. This is a sequel to Xenoblade, the one that was on the 3DS.
Which was originally on the Wii.
Yes.
So this is okay. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
How many Xenoblade games are there?
A lot.
Well, there's a lot of
Yes.
There's a lot of Xeno games which are all loosely in the same sort
World.
of franchise.
Yeah.
So Xenoblade Chronicles was a Wii game that they ported to the 3DS. Chronicles 2 is a Wii U game that has nothing to do with Chronicles, right? And then this Xenoblade 2 is a sequel to the first one? Is that am I following that right?
I guess. I don't know.
It's like
I don't-
art shit.
Yeah, I was
like,
just about to say, like, Xenoblade 2 is a nobody, but Xenoblade Chronicles is a heartless.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you interested?
I never even finished. I don't know. I thought I was going to like Xenoblade Chronicles, the one on the 3DS that was originally on the Wii, but I never even bothered finishing it because I just got bored of the combat. So, and I never played Chronicles 2, so I don't know. Maybe this one will sell me, but I doubt it.
All right.
I like these style of Nintendo games personally, despite the fact the only thing I have is a 2DS. I really like it when they release things that aren't kind of iconically Nintendo. Like I really like I like the look of the Xenoblade games and Fire Emblem as well, and Metroid as well, which isn't iconic anymore. I think you need to be consistent to remain iconic.
Actually, I agree with you. Actually one of my favorite games of the Wii U in its entirety was Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the crazy ass JRPG with like music fangirls.
Was it good?
Yeah,
it is amazing. It is like if you love Persona, this game is amazing. Straight up, the combat system.
Persona is more like Fire Emblem.
It is way more like Persona.
Okay.
You get fangirls, but there's permadeath, so it's really kind of weird.
Okay, the better way to think of that game is that it's got the combat of Persona, but actually I think the combat's even better than Persona, just as like a straight mechanic. Like Persona 5 changed up a lot of the things, so I'd say it's iffy, but like the way that it flowed in combat and the music going with it is really amazing. Like it's a really good spectacle, let's put it that way. I really enjoyed the combat. There's no like social links, if that makes sense, but the characters are really well developed and they're all quirky in their own way. And there's like some stuff that is like so stupid that's funny, you know? Like I don't know, it's got a lot. The game has a lot of charm, a lot of charm, and it may look stupid and ridiculous, but I promise you, it's really fun. If anyone likes Persona, it's like right up that alley. It's like that type of game, but it's unique in its own way. I loved it. The music's amazing in it. Just how colorful it is really cool too. Actually, it was probably like one of my top 3 games of last year. Loved it. So if they have more things like that, totally down. Okay, so let's cover some other things here, some housekeeping, some big games that everyone is excited about that is potentially going to be announced. Pokemon Stars.
I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but Sun disappointed me.
Really?
I liked Sun and Moon a lot, actually.
I don't like Sun.
I thought that, like, in terms of like a story, it was okay. I felt like it held your hand a little too much, especially at the beginning. But in terms of just like raw Pokemon game, I thought it was great. I loved it.
Some of the new Pokemons are pretty good. Some of the Alolan variants were like my MVPs were the Salazzle, like the sassy lizard, and
that was cool.
and
Sassy lizard.
And
like there's always good gems in new generations of Pokemon, but like I felt like it was a good game. Like it wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but you know, it was.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of talking, and I hated your rival. He was such a bitch.
Which one?
The your
emo
cousin,
boy or the
your cousin, like the kid who already
the
lives.
happy guy who just
he wasn't
loves
actually your
life.
cousin, right? That was just a thing you said.
I don't know, man. It just
It's
like
just
every
like
time you beat him, it was just like, boy, you sure pushed my shit in that time. That was great. Can't
Yeah,
wait for
no,
it
the
again. I'm
games-
like, I
that is-
hate you. I hate you so much.
That is
Dare
one
you be
criticism that I
happy
can
right
make.
now.
That is
Thank
one
you, sir.
criticism
May I
I
have another? And I'm like,
Like, every new Pokemon game is so easy. Like, do you remember if you remember like an original Pokemon Red, you could
Yeah.
wander into Celadon City or Cerulean City rather, just like boop 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 walking around. Oh, I wonder if there's a gym in this town. You go north just because fuck it, why not? Go north.
Yeah.
And then Red or Blue or Gary or whatever the fuck you want to call him, he's just there and he's like, fuck you, it's time to fight. And he just kicks your shit in because you just walked all the way through Mount Moon, getting your ass handed to you by Zubats, and this guy comes fresh, kicks your ass, because of course he does. But this game is just like, no, let's heal up all your guys, and here's a few ethers for your shits and giggles. Like, it's so babying, and it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Like, they cater so much to the kids who play Pokemon, and I get it. I know they buy the games more than old farts like we do, but like,
I actually disagree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
have you ever seen like a Pokemon player with like a tried and true like IV eugenics program, and like how many like non-shiny Charmanders they cast out into the wild that are just that they're not the chosen son?
Obviously, the adults get more into the deep mechanics because we're adults. We understand those things more. But like, I'm pretty sure like there are more.
We're chasing the dragon now. It's just like basic rock paper scissors doesn't cut it anymore. Now we got to get into our fucking IV breeding.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what does everyone think though about the potential of an HD Pokemon? Like that's on the Switch portable.
Oh, you mean on Switch?
Yeah, dude. Stars is rumored to be on Switch.
Oh, okay. That would be fucking awesome.
The only gripe that I really had with Sun and Moon was that it felt like I had this great looking game, but due to the hardware, it looked like a potato. And
I had wicked frame rate issues on the 2DS.
Yeah, it took a lot of the immersion out of it for me. If I got something 720p,
I buy it on the Switch right away.
I'd buy it twice.
Maybe it was because I'm on the new 3DS, but like I thought it looked great. It looked obviously like kind of pixely in some parts. And
I want to clarify something.
Anti-aliasing, but
once you guys get a Switch, like I didn't think I'd have this react. I got the Switch because I'm like, I'm gonna buy Splatoon, so I'm just gonna buy a Switch now, get Zelda. We're good to go. Switch has changed my life in ways that I didn't actually think it would. Okay, I just want to clarify, and like not fanboying. Like I really thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. Like, I really thought I wasn't going to play it, but it's become the console that I literally take everywhere with me. I think people might judge me, but I think it's easier to carry than a 3DS. It makes me look less stupid on the Metro.
I don't know, man. I'm too paranoid. I wouldn't take that. Like, I don't take my 3DS anywhere.
I get that. But
I wouldn't take a Switch either.
I used to take my 2DS around.
So to give an example, when I'm on the Metro, right, like you see a bunch of people with tablets and stuff, right? The Switch looks like a tablet. It doesn't look stupid. It looks kind of sophisticated when you're carrying it too, like the all black one. So like you can play it, and people don't really like ask or like stare at you fucking weirdly. I find with a 3DS, like the flip thing, and you just like playing it, like you look like a giant nerd.
Yeah, a grown man playing a kid's game.
Yeah, it just looks awkward.
Yeah,
but when I whip out a Switch and I start playing
that stuff doesn't bother me.
It looks more professional to me, and I guess that's cooler. Also, it's just like playing Mario Kart 8 on the go is so different. Like just the idea that I can whip it out, pick it up, play it instantly, and it looks amazing. I find some of the games look even better on the screen than they do on my TV, like most of the time.
But generally...
Well, yeah, clearly.
Pixels per inch is a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, but it looks amazing. Like, just everything about it's so cool. So, having the idea of Pokemon being portable and also on my TV and just looks amazing.
Also already portable.
Yeah, but it's
I get what you're saying.
Better portable.
I get what you're saying,
like, it looks awesome. Like, Thumper on the Switch is, like, my new thing, man. I'm obsessed with it. Like
that's that like rhythm game, right? With like
with the Beetle. It came out on Switch.
Play that game. I have no idea how that game works, even though I've watched like
a
good hour
bought
of people
it.
streaming that game. I have no idea how it works.
It's a rhythm game. You're a beetle going through a Lovecraftian maze thing, killing weird demon people with rhythm.
Video games, am I right?
It's awesome. And I had it on PS4 and I didn't play it a lot because it was at home. But now that I have it on the Switch on the go, like it's something I can always play. So
I guess
yeah,
it's
it's
'cause,
just
like I don't use a lot of public transport. That like the Switch's portability isn't really a big selling point for me.
And like for example, we're going to E3 and I'm going to be on a plane flight to Los Angeles. I can literally just pick it up, play Mario Kart with the person who's going to be flying with me, and we're two people playing Mario Kart on a plane. You know what I mean? Like
Instead of talking about your kids, you're going to play Mario Kart.
yeah, dude, it's awesome. Like it's just the idea of
Vast
how
improvement.
portable it is and how much is like I really took it for granted. I really thought I was going to be using it every once in a while, but I seem to be using it in portable mode
It
way more
seemed
than
a
I
lot
ever thought.
campier, and realistically, it's like for me, I will opt to take my Switch places that I used to take my phone and like browse Reddit and shit. Like I don't do that anymore. I now just take the Switch and just play on my Switch instead.
Yeah,
How long does the battery last on that thing?
it's really
Like,
good actually.
Yeah. And it also depends on the game. Like if you're playing
Sure.
Legend of Zelda, it goes a lot
Oh
faster.
yeah,
than
Zelda
if you're playing-
kills the battery. But for example, Thumper,
Shovel Knight.
I haven't
Yeah.
charged my Wii U for 5 days, and it's still halfway through my battery. And you're talking about me taking it and playing it an hour to my workplace and an hour back.
Wow, pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good.
So it's pretty good.
Nintendo does batteries.
And then you
very well.
pick up one of these, you pick up one of these beautiful 20,000 milliamp Anchor power supplies, and you just charge that in the middle, and you're good to go. But yeah, it's great. So just everything about it's really cool. I really didn't think I liked it as much as I do. So like when I get excited about things like that, it's just like it's so cool to have the idea of playing it on both. Like that appeal, like if there's a game that's coming out on like PlayStation or it's coming out on Switch, like I'd get it on Switch instantly. Like Persona 5, if Persona 5 re-released on Switch, instant purchase. Like not even a question, I'd buy it right away. Like
Really, you'd play 100 hours of that game again?
yes, on the Switch,
But that's
if it was
100
portable.
Metro rides, dude. Just
Yeah,
think about
it's
the value.
crazy. So yeah, just that whole idea is really cool, and I think that's a really strong appeal. And if they just put more games on it that where it does that same thing, like they're gonna be strong. So going on to that, that's the first port, Pokemon Stars. Super Smash Bros. Is potentially rumored to be a port.
I wouldn't
know
be
there's
surprised
a-
if they did like
a
a Mario Kart
fake
Deluxe
thing.
thing where they just ported everything. Or like, here's all the DLC, here's everything for the Switch. Done.
You mean
I
like
wouldn't-
another "we're sorry for the Wii U" sort of port?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, actually, I feel like that's what they're going to do for a lot of things. Because, to be honest, like, I know me and Blake are the minority here, but we loved the Wii U. I thought
Hey,
a lot of
I
the
love the
games
Wii
that
too,
came
I
out
just didn't
were
have anything to play on it.
amazing. I thought it was one of Nintendo's best years in terms of games, actually. So, for them to, like, not have it is, like...
My only concern for Smash for the Switch is they'll probably not work in the GameCube controllers, which would be a really bad thing.
Ooh, fuck, man, that's true. Because the GameCube controller support was like a major thing.
What are you
for that
talking
game on
about?
the Wii
They're
U.
going to do the thing
Yeah.
that they did with the Splatoon headset, where they have 8 adapters to plug in your GameCube controller, and then they're going to put another adapter for your headset, and then another adapter for your game audio, and then another adapter.
and your phone for their chat app.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
what really tickle some jimmies is a USB GameCube controller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Slap
yeah.
that right to the Switch, and then anything else that you own.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I have a high chance. I feel like that might actually come. I feel like it's a logical
If not
choice,
this
right?
year, then definitely next year.
Yeah. So let's get into the next thing here. Mario Rabbids Ubisoft.
What's
So
that? We haven't talked about that at all.
okay, so for those of you who don't know, Mario Rabbids is supposed to be a role-playing game that features Rabbids dressed as Mario characters, and it's called Kingdom Battle, and they all have guns. And it's supposed to be like meme-y. There's supposed to be some dank memes in there.
I can't tell if you're kidding.
I'm
Like,
dead
I'm not.
serious. This
I know
is
the
made by
game's not, but
Ubisoft.
This description sounds fake. I know the
This
game is
is-
real, but
And people are saying that they want to see Mario vape. That's about the extent of what I've seen.
Vape Nation.
People are like, "Yo, if Mario
I'm trying to
vapes,
figure
I'm
out what
buying
angle
this
it's gonna
game."
be. There you go.
Oh god.
So yeah, I'm super stoked about Mario vaping.
How Do they still make Rabbids games? Like, is that
Exactly.
still a thing?
So here's the
Apparently.
thing.
No.
The appeal of an RPG on the Switch is so cool to me. I'm like, Mario RPG, I'm down. Let's do it. And then they added Rabbids, and I went, fuck no. And I just completely took it out of my mind instantly.
Yeah, fucking rabbits and guns.
Yeah,
it's just such a Ubisoft thing to do is take a really good idea and then just like spray shit all over it. And they're just like, yeah, release it.
Yeah, like talk about the
love
way
it.
to kill it is just to add rabbits. It's like the same thing of adding minions in a game. Like, just I'm
Yeah.
done. You've already checked out.
Does Square Enix hate Nintendo that much
It's not
that they'll
Square
never
Enix.
let them make? No, does it hate them that much they'll never let them make another Mario RPG game? Like, what the hell? Why are we doing this? What the hell's happening?
Yeah, I know. Well, Mario and Luigi RPG was pretty cool. I was hoping that they were going to do that on a Switch. Like, I'd be okay with that.
Oh man, imagine
But
a
then you
good
got
Paper Mario
Rabbids.
game. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, the Rabbids appeal just kills me. I'm so out of it.
Your
My-
description was just fucking
Vaping
it's just
Mario,
one of the
dude.
grossest things I've ever heard.
You want to see Vape Mario talk about dank memes with Rabbids?
Oh God! Don't say dank memes out loud like it's a real thing. Stop.
I know I do. Vape Nation in the not Hyrule King,
Vape
Mushroom
Nation.
Kingdom, bro. Gonna smoke some
Oh,
Koopas.
God.
He's
You know why they
gonna
call
rip
it the
a fat
Mushroom
cloud,
Kingdom,
and then that
dog?
guy who drops spiky things from the sky is gonna pop out of it, and then that's a new thing.
Oh jeez. Oh God.
Okay, so I guess the I feel like it's one of those things where they have to show it and really win you over with it. Like they really
Man,
have to
I-
show it's a good game. Like
I
I'm
can't imagine
already
how they
checked
win
out.
people over. That
Okay,
is
so some other additional things that I want to cover that's kind of been announced a little bit before. Like Nintendo's been pretty good at having this steady stream of. That's one thing I will give kudos for that people aren't talking about. Nintendo's pre-E3 stuff has been on point. We've been constantly talking about Nintendo and no one else for this entire 3 weeks. All I've had is
Well, that's
Nintendo
because,
info.
like, it's been a few
It's
years
like
now that they don't really
December,
care
right?
about. They don't really care about E3. They just do their own thing.
Oh,
that just
no.
sometimes happens to
Hold on. Let's
coincide.
clarify.
Yeah.
They really care about E3, but they don't care about the actual conferences.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they release their things around the same time, but they don't care about like the branding of the Electronic Entertainment Expo or whatever. You know, like
Yeah.
so they just they release their stuff when they want to, and it just sometimes they release a lot of stuff around when everyone else is doing it.
So just to go through some things, Monster Hunter Generations was announced for the Switch,
Cool.
along with 3DS. That's a big system seller in Japan, and it's been really, really popular here. So for it to come out on the Switch is like huge crossplay with 3DS as well. I think it's probably one of their biggest IPs that they don't realize is their biggest
That's
IP.
one of those series I've always wanted to play, but I've never touched. Is Monster Hunter.
It's really cool. I think you can totally get into it. If you're like a fan of like Dark Souls and stuff, it's that similar type of like predicting movement, predicting your enemy's motions. And
Yeah,
like,
that's why. It's like one of the guys at GameStop I talked to when I went to like buy something. I ended up getting Bravely Default at the end of this story, but he was like, "Well, do you like the grind?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Maybe Monster Hunter's not for you." So that kind of
that game is
that
real
one
grindy.
guy kind of
it's grindy, but no.
That's what turned me off.
So
of it. It's,
Peter,
like,
I do
real
think it's
grindy.
completely up your alley. I think this is something that you would like.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's fun. Like, because the way you cut off different types of parts of the beast, and it gives you certain weapon unlocks. Like, it's grinding with like a certain skill, if that makes sense.
Cool. I got
Like-
a gift card from work today because my birthday's this month, so maybe I'll just go to EB and grab something there with that.
Yeah, try it out. Like, try Monster Hunter. Maybe it's pretty good. I don't know. I like it. I enjoyed them. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I've
No.
always enjoyed them, and I think it's one of their biggest sellers that they're under showing. They haven't announced an English version, but I mean, it's pretty clear they're going to announce an English version. Why would you port it to the Switch and not make an English version? Going to be crazy. So it's going to come out. It might even show up at E3. Like, we're announcing it, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Second thing is apparently there's a rumor going around that Platinum is making a game for the Switch.
Bayonetta 3.
Maybe it's not exclusive to
Bayonetta 2
Nintendo
sell well?
anymore. Bayonetta 2, okay, it sold well for a Wii U game, which means it didn't sell well because nothing sold
Yeah.
well on the Wii U. So you have to take that into context. It did pretty good. That's it.
I mean, everybody loves Platinum, though. They're really, really popular.
Well,
Everybody's getting
lately-
hyped now because, like, Vanquish and Bayonetta are on PC now, and everybody's, like, losing their minds.
And they've been really good. And Nier is amazing. and
Yeah.
like they're starting to hit their stride again. They did really shit with like some Ninja Turtles and stuff, but now they're coming back. So
Yeah, and Transformers.
if
Oh, man,
Platinum
what I wouldn't give
announces
for a good Ninja
something,
Turtles game.
yeah, if Platinum announced something, I'll be pretty stoked about it, to be honest. Yeah, another thing, there's a rumors kind of swelling around that Retro Studios hasn't announced a game for a while. It's been a couple of years. The American studio that usually did Metroid, and then they did the latest Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Rumors are coming around that there might be a real Metroid game being announced.
That would be amazing.
That would be incredible. It'd be really cool to have like old school style. Like Nintendo's been really going back to their roots with a lot of their games, so having a Metroid would be awesome.
But didn't you like Federation Force? Didn't everybody?
I loved that ball game.
Oh, you ever play Fusion Frenzy on the first Xbox?
Yes.
That.
That's actually what it is, yeah.
And I do not understand why they dropped Metroid like they have. I don't get it. Why?
Because it's not a big system
Does it sell
seller.
that? I mean, sure,
Yeah,
but
but it's something to appeal to other kind of crowds. It's like you could have more people playing Nintendo consoles if you had your Mario, you had your Zelda, and then you had your Metroid, which is kind of appeals to a slightly older crowd because it's darker sci-fi, and you could make it an FPS so it looks like everything else that's out. I don't think it's a fucking hard sell. It's like it's sci-fi. It's awesome. Nintendo.
got a lady in a robot suit.
The lady in a
What
robot
more do
suit.
you need?
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of being held around. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope it gets announced. There's kind of rumors spreading about it, so hopefully that is true. Another thing that we're gonna get on here. Do you think we're gonna see the new Shin Megami Tensei project that they announced at the Switch launch?
No, it's too early for that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome though. That kind of looked really cool. I'm hopeful.
I would love to hear like some, I don't know, DLC for Persona 5. That'd be great, but I doubt that any new game will be talked about anytime
They're
soon.
definitely gonna show off more Zelda DLC, I think.
You
Breath
think
of
so?
the
That'd
Wild.
been good.
Yeah.
Have they said when the DLC is supposed to start coming out?
Well, they've already announced the first one. I don't remember when it was.
I know,
though.
but like, have they announced the date?
Yeah, they did. I don't remember the date though. Sometime in June, I think. End of June.
And they might show something.
Yeah, they might show more of like the next couple of ones. Next game, Octopath Traveler. It looked really cool when they announced it at.
Super excited.
Yeah, that's what I'm super excited about too. Square
What the hell
Enix.
is that?
Octopath Traveler is a game that is like a sprite-based game in like a 3D world, and it's an RPG.
Isometric 2D
Oh,
sprite
hang on.
in
This
a
looks
3D
really cool.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
yo, you're looking at it, Peter.
I'm looking at screenshots right now. Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I've never even heard of
yeah.
this. This looks really
Yeah, the name
neat.
completely bounced off me, but I remember watching this trailer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this looks,
Octopath is a terrible
Oh,
title.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's just
Oh
like
yeah, I forget it like minutes
So-
after reading it.
just for
It's probably just
context.
a tentative title.
This is the same people who did the Bravely Default series on the 3DS.
Sold.
So
Sold.
instantly sold. Square Enix. This is like an amazing RPG company. So having
I
Octopath
love Bravely
Traveler.
Default.
I know, me too.
For how much the ending kind of sucks, I love Bravely Default. It's so fun. It's so good.
I like it a lot. I never actually finished it. I've owned it for years and I've never finished it, but I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. So Octopath Traveler, the style alone just makes me want to play that game instantly.
sold.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
the
I
idea
love
that it's
the art
from
style.
Bravely
It's so
Default as well. It's actually one of my most anticipated games by Nintendo, like on a console, and it's for Switch. It fits that portability factor perfectly. Like a long game that you can do in bursts. Like, so stoked for that game. I cannot wait to see more.
It looks like those. You ever build any of those Puzz 3D foam puzzles?
Yes.
It looks like that.
Yeah, and I love that style.
Yeah. I think this looks incredible.
Yeah.
Frankly.
There's a couple of other things that might be around coming up. Do you think you're going to see a Pikmin?
Nah.
I don't know.
we
I
might
don't know
One
how
came out
well
like a
Pikmin
year and a
will do.
half ago, didn't it?
Well, they have that new 3DS
Oh.
2D platformer Pikmin, which I don't consider a Pikmin game that's coming out.
I don't
I feel
know.
like we'll see a teaser and not much else.
I didn't
You mean
even
like-
play Pikmin 3, but
like
I like
4?
Pikmin games. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
I played Pikmin 2. I thought it was good.
what do you think that? Do you think anything hardware related Nintendo's going to announce? Not hardware, but like software related. Do you think they're going to show off the Virtual Console? Do you think they're going to have anything else that comes out? I personally am betting my money that they're going to show off themes, Splatoon, Switch themes that you can buy.
I know
What do you
PS4 has that, but I don't know if
So,
does
to give an example,
Microsoft have that?
Blake, you know when you open
Yeah,
up
they
your
do.
Switch and you go to the themes page and it has the black and the white?
Right?
I mean, why would they make a whole theme page for two colors?
Oh, right. The 3DS has that too.
True.
They have like themed packs where you can buy them
Exactly.
and like reskins.
And
like,
they're starting with the
pages and stuff.
controllers,
Right.
like you get the Splatoon controllers. So I just have a feeling that they're going to announce themes.
That's fair. Yeah.
More amiibos, maybe? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah, they're gonna go crazy with that amiibo.
Yep.
Which is why they're also talking about Smash Bros on the Switch, because they're announcing a bunch of amiibos for like the old Switch after the Wii U's dead, like Bayonetta and stuff, and everyone's like, okay, well,
Can we get a Wii U amiibo?
Why are you
that's
doing
just like
all
a little
this?
tombstone?
yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so I think that's what's going to come out. I don't think they're going to mention Virtual Console, and it's going to piss off everyone.
I think they will actually. I think because they came out with like the pricing structure for their
Yeah, they
new
mentioned it.
online system, right? So I'm pretty sure they didn't talk about Virtual Console so they could talk about it at E3.
Oh, so-
it makes sense.
Actually, speaking of the online service, what do you guys think about the online service?
I like the price.
5-year. So that way I'd pay like $60 and I'd never have to think about paying online again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the price. I don't like
It's
the
dirt cheap.
the TeamSpeak in like a phone app. I think that's really
Okay,
dumb.
so hold on.
The stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not
really
going to
dumb.
defend
I don't
Nintendo. I
understand.
think the idea is really stupid as well. But one thing I will say is, let's put it this way: when was the last time you used voice chat on your PS4?
I've literally never used it.
Exactly.
I
When
can-
was the
I can
last time you
literally not
used it
remember.
on PC?
I mean, I use the in-game chat for Team Fortress, Titanfall. I use that.
Really? You're like
I
the
play a lot
only
of online
person.
Games, so
So
I mean,
here's the thing: even if Nintendo puts voice chat in Splatoon, I'm still going to use Discord. Nothing's going to
Okay, yeah,
change,
that's fair.
and it will
Yeah.
never
And it's,
change.
Yeah.
It's the exact same kind of system anyway. I mean, the only thing that I would really see as make me want to go to the phone app over Discord would be if it had the ability to do randos, and they've explicitly stated that they're not doing that. That it's essentially going to be like a Discord, and it's just not going to be as good unless it's just mind-blowingly good. But I would be impressed.
is online play only available to people who buy the subscription, or is that available to anyone?
No, you have to buy the
It's
subscription to
free
play.
until 2018, and then after that, any online play you need to do the paid service.
And just an
well,
update
I mean-
as to the paid service. So they originally said that you'll get free NES games. They've changed that to make it a little bit more clear, is that it's like an open library. So they have a expanded library of all these NES games that play online as well. And you get access to that library for as long as you stay subscribed to the online service.
Wasn't it
That's
like a
interesting.
30 days at a time thing?
No,
At
that's what it
first?
originally was, and they changed it. They
Yeah, 'cause that
clarified
was
it.
stupid.
Kotaku,
it's basically Netflix,
Jason Schreier
right?
mentioned it. It's basically a Netflix for NES games.
That's interesting.
That's
That's-
really
I can see
cool.
them
For
expand
$3, like $20 a year,
Yeah.
like I mean, yeah, it's just NES games, but there are a lot of great NES games.
and then they
could put
and then
some
they
more
can
stuff
go to
on there.
SNES afterwards. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
N64.
I'm just saying. And then portable, like the portable factor of the Switch, you can bring it on the go. NES is a really cool thing to use for like, I don't know, 30 minutes at a time to play a game. You know, like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
fits that
Play,
factor.
Duck Hunt with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, dude. Also, whip out the Joy-Cons. Have two people playing. Like you can do multiplayer with it. I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a lot of possibilities. Like people didn't really think about that, but it's a really smart idea. I think people will realize how cool it is afterwards. The only thing I hate about this online paid service, still no dedicated service for Splatoon. Give me my 50, 60 tick rate. Don't give me that 15 stuff. Make this
Make it
game
happen,
not
Bill.
laggy.
60, not 60. Dedicated service is a thing that's has been becoming increasingly rare across all games. Like
'Cause it's
everything,
so expensive.
nobody uses. I get it, but like, man,
Like,
freaking like, how could you play like even what you call it the For Honor that use P2P? Like, how
most
could you
Oh,
play
recent
that?
one.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
How could you play that? Like
You can't.
it's so twitchy. Like how can you? It's nonsense to me.
Anyways,
no one wants to pay for a dedicated server. Everyone wants a dedicated server, but they're remembering back in the old days when the amount of data that you're sending to a server is dirt cheap, and
Yeah.
you're not sending HD packets of information globally.
Yeah, I mean,
those like
theoretically, that's
end up
what these
needing to
online
be-
services are for, right? They're supposed to pay for these kinds of things, but
Yeah, what
but-
are you paying
but the
for if
amount
not
that you
dedicated
actually have to
servers?
pay
Exactly.
for in order to get what you would need for that
yeah,
is significantly more than people would like. People would balk at the price. Like, people are already upset with the Nintendo just $20 a year. Like, many of us are like,
Well, because it was
dirt
free
cheap.
up until this point. Like, if they started
Yeah.
charging for Steam, I'd probably go fucking crazy.
yeah.
But that's like even now, I think I was looking at it. It's like $70 or something like that for 3 months of Xbox Live, something in that ballpark.
I think
Um,
it's.
I don't remember. It's been
I
years
think it's
since I
still.
bought Xbox Live.
Yeah, same here. I think it's $5 a year. So I think it's $60 for a year of
Yeah,
Xbox
Sony
Live.
$79.99 for Canada.
So
Yeah.
it'll probably be the same thing for Xbox.
Yeah, it's probably relatively the same.
And those are still game systems that are utilizing still a lot of peer-to-peer nonsense. They're not
Yeah.
full dedicated servers. So it'd be even more expensive than that to get true dedicated servers for things,
Yeah.
which again take up space. It's not very good for longevity because you'll have, a game that's 4 years old needing a dedicated server, but then there's this new shiny game that also needs a dedicated server. And there's only so many dedicated servers to go around, so then they bump out an old one. But there's still people playing those games, and that's where a lot of the flexibility for a peer-to-peer game comes from. I mean, it'd be great to have a new innovation that would bridge that gap of being able to send real high quality data cheaper, and so that way it's somewhere in between a peer-to-peer and a dedicated server. I don't know, but people ask for it, they're not willing to pay for it, at least not for what they really need.
Yep. All right. So, any closing thoughts on Nintendo?
Not looking at anything.
2017 is going to be a good year.
Oh yeah, for
2017
everything.
is a good year.
Yeah,
It's
already
been
on its
great.
own,
so
it's already
far,
like
yeah.
the best year of gaming ever.
Ooh, maybe not.
Oh, we're not going to get into this today, but so
It's another fight.
Good stuff. It's good
okay,
stuff.
so I guess we'll wrap up the show from here. It's been pretty long. It's been 2.5 hours. Closing thoughts. What's everyone's most anticipated game coming out of E3?
The hype is just too much to contain, clearly.
I think we'll have to say the Octopath Traveler. It's
Really?
that-
Over
that is a-
Splatoon?
well, I mean,
Like, we can't
That's
count
not
it
coming
because
out of
it
E3.
doesn't count. Yeah.
like that's
We've been hyped
my
about it
hype-
before.
My hype for Splatoon 2 has been 6 months in the making. Like, I'm already at full boil.
It's true. That's fair.
I
That's
can't
fair.
get any more excited.
So yeah, Octopath Travel is really your game of the year for it, not Mario Odyssey.
No, not Grand Theft Mario. Unless, I don't know. It has potential. I am willing to play it. Like, if they have a small demo of it at E3, I'll probably play it and give it a try and have an open mind towards it. Because, kind of like what George was saying, I was a big fan of Super Mario Sunshine. So if I can get that kind of feeling from a game again, I'd be all about it. I'm not sure if Odyssey will be that for me, though.
Okay. George, what do you think is going to be your
For me,
go-to?
it's either going to be Spider-Man or whatever dribble drabble we get for Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 7. Like, those two games are like, man, when they announced FF7 remade, I lost my goddamn mind. You were there, Jamie. We were living together at the time. I lost my goddamn
well, we were all
mind.
losing our minds. Then I remember we all watched Easy Allies podcast, Easy Allies coverage with Michael Huber crying.
God damn.
For Shenmue,
I lost
Oh
my
yeah,
mind.
that reaction. Everyone's seen it.
crying actual lotus
Yeah.
petals.
Yeah. But like that I'm not in the delusional state where I think that they'll actually show meaningful stuff for either of those things. So like in terms of a game that I actually think I'll see something like good, well not good, but like something that exists, I think Spider-Man will probably be the thing.
All right. And Peter?
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the things down here. Sadly, I was hoping CD Projekt would be there to maybe
Or
do a little bit
Cyberpunk?
of
No, they're not.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk is
Oh,
like 5 years away,
I know.
man. It's
I
not
really
I
wish
know,
that
I know.
Cyberpunk was shown though.
And then looking at the PC Gamer Show, it's not mentioned, but I would love to see some more from BattleTech personally, which is the Mech Warrior strategy game that's coming out. I love those games, and I watched like their hour stream that they did. It looks fantastic. But that's it. Like this is one of those. It's one of those E3s where I'm not really super hyped. If the new Colossus gets announced, though, I will go insane because I absolutely loved. What the fuck is it?
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, Wolfenstein. The new
had it
Colossus.
right.
Yeah, it's called the new.
Colossus.
You had it right.
Because I thought I got like the new order mixed up with something else. I had no faith in myself.
The title screws you up. I like.
Yeah, but Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. If that's going to be a thing, I will absolutely love it. And that's about it. Like that's the one announced game that we had on the list or announced. The game that we had on the list is definitely Wolfenstein, and then some stuff from the PC Gamer Show from BattleTech, and that's about it. But I'm open to be surprised and impressed by other things. Like I'm open to be surprised from Ubisoft, frankly. And Microsoft, I'm really curious to see what happens, despite the fact I have no stake in whatever happens to that press conference.
I just want to see the world burn. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I just want I want to watch Microsoft just to watch what happens. I just want to see if it's a disaster or if it's like so good that everyone goes crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I still won't buy anything. I just want to know.
I like the competition. I think it's really important that they all compete. Like Sony kills it, and I'm glad Nintendo got a shot in the arm with the Switch. And I want
killing it now
because
Sony's killing it now because they were so far behind last generation. Like they were behind. Like Xbox was winning. Like they had all the good games. It's basically the reverse of what's happening now. Yeah, they saw that and they were like, not again.
Way reversed now because at least Sony still had first party games that were coming out. You know, even when they were
PS3 picked up near the end of its life. Like when the Uncharted games started getting big. Like, but for a lot of that generation, the Xbox was king, and now it's completely flipped.
Yeah. So just closing thoughts for me. I guess I am most excited for pretty much anything Nintendo. I love Nintendo on that stuff. Also anything Sony. Like those are my two big platforms that I really follow. If I had to pick games in particular, I'd agree. I think Spider-Man's my thing that I'm really excited about. I really want Bloodborne 2. Like if Bloodborne 2 gets announced, I'm going to lose it. Really want to know more about that. And then for Nintendo, honestly, like I'm really excited about Mario Odyssey. Like I'm just really excited about Odyssey. I know that it's going to have gameplay footage on the floor, so I'm excited to actually try that. And the second thing I'm excited about is VR's future. I just want to play VR. Like I really want to get into it, so I really hope that when I get to the floor, I get to try more of that and really see what it's all about. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show either way. I'm looking forward to seeing it all. But
and the cringe. I'm looking forward to cringe.
Especially the
I
cringe.
can't miss it. So yeah, I guess that wraps up our show. So let's close out. So George, do you want to plug anything, or are you just happy to be on the show?
I don't really have anything to plug. I don't have much of an internet presence, but it was a pleasure to talk to you all. This was a great couple hours.
Cool.
Nice to meet you.
So, Blake, where can we follow you?
As always, you can find me BlackSwordD2 on the Twitch, on the Twitters, on the YouTubes. It's all the same.
Okay. And Peter, how about you shill your podcast?
Yeah, well, that's a new thing, so it's coming together. Definitely follow LoreBoys on Twitter at LoreBoys. We're out on iTunes every Monday, and the YouTube with some of the art that I do on Tuesdays. So subscribe to all that and follow that. I think we're going to start putting more things together, so just Twitter would probably be the best place to start right now. So follow LoreBoys, follow me at Pete O'Donohue as well, just to see what we're all doing. And we'll probably set up a Twitch and maybe a YouTube channel. We'll see what the hell's going on. But right now we're very, very early days of our brand, basically. So just start with the Twitter, and if anything else comes up that might be important, you can find it through there.
All right. So so you can follow me at Cryptikspoon on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I don't really do YouTube at all, though, on my own personal thing. You guys can also follow Ink TV on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We put out content. Like I said, we put out this weekly podcast. We have Beyond the Ink, which is an interview segment of Splatoon players. That is also a podcast every week. We have a news show that comes out every second week as well. We also have tournaments that we've run. Like we said, we ran the US Inkling Open for Nintendo. And we are going to, all of our staff is going to be going to E3. We're going to be covering all the content, the Splatoon Open and the ARMS Open in particular. We're really going to try and focus on for you guys, getting interviews for the competitive scene, and then also just the look and feel and our thoughts about the games and our thoughts about every day. We're going to plan on putting out content pretty regularly throughout E3 if possible. So, yeah, look forward to it, guys. So thank all you guys for being on the show. And
thanks for having me.
And
it's a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Before all I heard was silence, a rhapsody for you and me, and every melody is timeless. Life was stringing me along, then you came and you cut me loose. I'm solo singing on my own. Now I can't find a key without you, and now your song is on repeat, and I'm dancing on to your heartbeat. And when you're gone, I feel incomplete. So if you want the truth, I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. Sorry if it's all too much, but every day you're here I'm healing, and I was running out of love. I never thought I'd find this feeling, 'cause I